You got it tight.
A perfect day for football in New England, as today the Seattle Seahawks have come east to play the New England Patriots. Today you'll be watching Drew Bledsoe lead the Patriots, the #1 pick in the last NFL draft, the quarterback out of Washington State. His counterpart, the #2 pick overall, Ric Mirer, leads the Seahawks. Bill Parcells, who coached 2 Super Bowl winners with the Giants, looking for his first win as coach of the Patriots. And a guy he's very concerned about is the great defensive tackle of the Seahawks, NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Cortez Kennedy. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese. A great day for football in New England, and a very big day as we have these 2 outstanding young quarterbacks matched, Drew Bledsoe and Ric Mirer, both of them extolled for their leadership qualities. So far, Beasley, what's the overall evaluation of their play?
Well, I think both organizations are very happy with the play of their young quarterbacks at this point. Seattle feels like Ric Mirer is the best deep passer of the 2, but as you look at his stats, you see he has a very high completion average, but down at the bottom, that 0 touchdown to 3 interception ratio must improve. For Bledsoe, Parcells says that his arm is about as strong as Terry Bradshaw's, and that's not bad.
Not bad at all. The Patriots come in as the favorite, but the Seahawks have reason to be optimistic. They've beat New England 5 of their last 6 meetings. They won here a year ago, did the Seahawks, by a 10-6 score. And there's Cortez Kennedy, a man that Bill Parcells says very briefly can ruin an offense for you.
They've got to put 2 willing, aggressive blockers on that guy. And, boy, he can ruin everything you've got planned. They normally put 2 guys on him, and they leave somebody back in the background ready to help out in case he gets free.
Here is the kickoff coming downfield. And the ball is taken back at the 2-yard line as Seattle brings it straight ahead and fights it all the way out now, close to the 30-yard line. John Vaughn, a former Patriot, running the kickoff back. And down to make the tackle on special teams for New England was Darrell Wren. There's the offensive line for Seattle. Ray Roberts, a huge tackle from Virginia. Ray Donaldson, a longtime Colt, now comes in to add stability at the center position. Mirer at quarterback. Chris Warren is the player the Patriots fear most in the Seattle offense. An outstanding runner, a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. Paul Green will come in as an extra tight end, a very good young receiver. And right to the run go the Seattle Seahawks as they crash ahead for a gain of about 9 yards on the play. So Warren comes out of the blocks quickly. As we look at the front 7 of the New England Patriots, John Washington starts at defensive end today for the injured Brent Williams. Very good linebackers. Chris Slade, the rookie on the outside, had 3 sacks a week ago. And the secondary with Renee Thompson, a former Giant, at left corner now. A couple of newcomers at the safeties, and Adrian Wright and Harlan Barnett. Darrell Wren, picked off the waiver wire from Buffalo, had 2 interceptions a week ago for New England. Handoff. Patriots come out running hard as Chris Warren on a second carry again drives ahead for a first down. A 12-yard gain on the play, and so Beasley, the Seahawks replay will show their game plan working. They want to run it.
Well, Chris Warren is one of the best running backs in the National Football League that you haven't heard much about. He's 225 pounds. He runs a 4.3 4.4 40, and the Patriots have got to control him if they expect to do anything today.
Warren gained only 24 yards his first 2 years in the league, as there's a face mask call now, assist against the Patriots, and that advances the Seahawks further downfield. Looked like Barnett, the free safety. So Parcells not seeing things he likes early in this game as the Seahawks come out with power football and drive the ball right at New England. Yet another first down. Mirer to Warren. Taking on tacklers, and Chris Warren this time is knocked down by a tremendous inside linebacker, number 59, Vincent Brown. So the first play for the Seahawks that did not get a first down in this opening drive.
Vincent Brown is one of the tough ones. He's a big guy, 245 pounds, and Parcells is teaching him how to shed blockers, how to move and work within that new Patriot defense.
Bill Parcells talking about Mirer's leadership qualities, which have been so evident watching the tape. He thinks his own quarterback Bledsoe has that. Here's Mirer's first throw of the day. He's got time, triggers the ball downfield, and is way off target. He's looking at Farrell Edmonds, his tight end, who's a big target at 6'6". But Mirer comes in high. The Seahawks in this opening drive are working into a gusting wind. They're traveling towards the north end of the field, and the wind coming out of the north.
Well, that's a lot of tight end for Mirer to miss. He's been very, very accurate. You won't see that very much. His completion average is about 69.4%. Very, very accurate. He's been throwing a lot of short passes.
As you know, Beasley, they've had trouble on third down conversions. Only 2 of 19 converted for the Seahawks so far this season. Mirer dropping back. He needs 9. Here comes the rush. He gets away from it. Ric Mirer on the run. He breaks it. Mirer's ahead for the first down, and he drives on down to the 20-yard line. So on a third down and 9 play, Ric Mirer rips off a 20-yard gain before Harlan Barnett brings him down.
Ric Mirer is one of the best athletes on this football field. Don't let that quarterback position fool you. He's got all of the balance, all of the speed, and he's a very strong player. We saw him do that in college at Notre Dame. Runs it very well and picks up a huge, a big first down.
A little known fact about Ric Mirer, they rate all the players at Notre Dame on strength by position. He holds all the weightlifting records for quarterbacks. He's bench pressed 350 pounds. At 6'2", 216. Here's a handoff, and Warren runs headlong into the Patriot defense as those big backers fill. John Washington was also on the play, number 76, who Bill Parcells brought in, a former Giant.
You know, we talked to the defensive coordinators and, of course, to Bill Parcells about Chris Warren and his ability to run the football. They've got to respect Chris Warren. This guy has he's off to a real good start here. Now, the last couple of weeks, the Patriots played some real tough running backs. And Al Groh, the defensive coordinator, was afraid that they wouldn't respect Chris Warren. Well, he's got their respect now.
He sure does off this opening drive. Warren with 2 first-down runs on consecutive plays. Now the Seahawks drive on. Mirer takes a drop. Good protection. Here's the throw and a connection. As his receiver turns it up and in, Brian Blades is inside the 15-yard line. On a 2nd and 9 play, he got ahead for close to 7 yards. Vincent Brown was the tackler.
Now this time, Ric Mirer is right on the money. You see Brian Blades working in his pattern. He was injured a lot last year. They're real excited to have him back, and he's one of the guys that Parcells pointed out as a MDM, more dangerous, most dangerous man that they have to control. That's one of them right there.
That was Brian's 8th catch of the year. Now 3rd down. They bring Green in motion. They could be going to him. He can really catch the ball. Here's a sprint out. Instead, they go to Warren, and he takes it straight ahead. And the Seahawks, an underdog, drive inside the 10-yard line. There was an interesting scenario. I mean, it was almost a given around this area, Beasley, that this was going to be a Patriots day, a Patriots victory that they did very well and should have won last week against Detroit. But Coach Parcells has been down this long road before. When he started with the Giants, he had a 3-12-1 team his first year. Back in '83, subsequently won 2 Super Bowls, but Seattle is a very sound team. Parcells lauded them. He said they have nothing to show for their season so far as we don't, but they're very improved. Again, they go to Chris Warren. Big, 6'2", 225 pounds. And on a 1st and goal play, he's inside the 5-yard line.
Bill Parcells is in love with Chris Warren. I mean, he loves this guy's size. He loves his speed. And he's worried about him. You know, this is a guy that can pound it on the inside. And like I said, the Patriots faced backs like Thurman Thomas in week 1, Barry Sanders in week 2. So Parcells very, very concerned about his defense, saying, well, who and what is a Chris Warren? Well, all of a sudden, they're seeing what this guy can do. He's got him in position.
2nd down and goal now for the Seahawks at the 5-yard line. Mirer stands in. Here's a throw and a catch. It's a touchdown for the Seahawks as Brian Blades comes off the flank and Ric Mirer drills in his first NFL touchdown pass. So on this opening drive, the Seahawks, looking for their first win, looked like a Super Bowl team.
Well, they were very, very efficient running the game, very efficient passing the ball. And there's Brian Blades You know, they are really glad to see him back. And Mirer is very accurate. Like I said earlier, you're not going to see him misfire very often, and he was right on the money there.
So Brian Blades in the end zone.
John Casey to accept the extra
And Ric
point.
Mirer, with the running of Chris Warren, executes a perfect drive downfield, and Casey drives the point after up and through, and the Seahawks will kick it off in a moment. Ric Mirer and the Seahawks with their most impressive drive of the season, as they take it right down the field on 10 plays, the last 4 on a Mirer to Brian Blades touchdown throw.
Mirer showing his accuracy, his consistency, his decision-making ability. They are very, very happy with this young man's progress. The only thing he hasn't been able to do as of yet is to throw the long, long ball, and that perhaps more a case of inconsistency in the offensive line than any knock on Ric Mirer.
And now a tremendous kickoff as Casey, against the wind, drives it into the end zone for a touchback. And here comes Drew Bledsoe. Fans out in Washington know his act, and it's something to behold. A brilliant, brilliant thrower. Those are the people assigned to protect him. 3 number 1s in that offensive line. Armstrong, Chung, and Harlow were all drafted in the first year, the years they came out. Leonard Russell is his big runner. Patriots do not have a breakaway running game. Parcells really saying one of the shortcomings of this team is lack of backfield speed. Brisby's a guy to watch. Best hands on the team and one of the fastest Patriots. He's a rookie. Number 82 caught a touchdown pass a week ago. Bledsoe with a 1-back set, looking to throw on first down. He triggers it right out, makes the connection. It's good for a gain of 7. Gets the ball out to veteran Greg McMurtry. As we now look at the Seahawks on defense, Joe Nash, a local guy who's been a terrific player for the Seahawks out of Boston College as a free agent. Cortez Kennedy's the best, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Rod Stevens making a good contribution at middle linebacker. Rufus Porter, one of the best Seahawks, is out today with a hamstring pull. Kevin Murphy starts in his place. And there's the deep backs. Rayfield Robinson will come back in to join them as the nickel back. Now the Patriots go to the straight ahead power game, and Leonard Russell at 6'2", 235 drives ahead for a New England first down. There's Tom Flores in his 11th year as an NFL head coach. He coached 2 Raider teams to Super Bowl championships. It's interesting, Beasley, both these coaches yesterday talked about we are improved, but we're waiting to put something on the board to show it.
Nothing really to show for it, but both coaches very upbeat and positive about the direction of their team.
Pitch back. Running hard is Leonard Russell. Seahawks with good pursuit, but Russell gets ahead for close to 5 yards.
You know, Don, this is going to be one of those headache days for the defense because you've got 2 powerful running backs in the game. Mr. Russell is a big guy also, 225, 35 pounds, and he'll pound it in there. You see his numbers so far for the season, and they're looking for a lot from him. He's looking for a lot from himself. He told me yesterday he's looking to gain 1,300 yards this year.
Second down, a long 4. The handoff, and again the power game, and again it's Leonard Russell, a very motivated player out of Arizona State, who had a great rookie year, gained almost 1,000 yards as a rookie. Injury problems last year limited his production to 360 yards. He takes a lot of big hits, though, Bees.
You know, he really does, and he's not the guy that's going to run out of bounds. If you're looking for Franco Harris here, that's not your guy. This guy right here will be 1 inch from the sideline and turn it up and start pounding those big legs and drive you forward. He's a tough runner.
Parcells, very good spirits, though. He really thinks he's got something here that's going to start to emerge. Last week they really should have beaten Detroit. They lost 19-16 in overtime and regulation. Towards the end, they were down at the 2-yard line of the Lions and failed to score. Now the Patriots stack the front. Lots of big people come in, double tight ends. Brandon Moore also comes in, an extra tackle. Lining as a tight end. Howard set in the backfield. Marv Cook in motion, a tight end. They go to Leonard Russell. I don't think he got there. It's going to be very close on 3rd and less than a yard. A big defensive play by outside linebacker Kevin Murphy of the Seahawks, filling in for the injured Rufus Porter.
Well, Bill Parcells is known to take a look at 4th and an inch or so. I don't know if he'd be gutsy enough to take a look at it this time.
He might be. He's got to get a win.
We'll see if we got it, if they got it first.
Nope. He did not get there.
Nope.
He's doing the right thing.
He's doing the right
percentages.
thing. Absolutely.
The way Mirer moved that team the first time down the field, if they took over the ball here, it could be lights out in the first quarter. Both these teams have trouble putting points up, at least so far. Kelvin Martin drops back now to return the punt. A former Dallas Cowboy who went to Seattle as a free agent. Said he, now they're
That's what
up.
they call their Arapaho. It's a fake punt. Seahawks will probably keep the ball and drive it forward himself. Oh, look at that.
Patriot fans love that. So both these coaches needing a win, and Parcells goes against the odds but gets the production. They had an extra man on the field. The punter wasn't off in time, but there's no flag.
Well, I tell you what, that's pretty slick when you've got your backup quarterback in there. He can do those things. You see the punter lines up at the fullback position and then goes in motion. That's a great call and really caught him off guard.
Mike Saxon. Now Bledsoe stands in, rifles it downfield, and hits it down to the 36-yard line. Vincent Brisby, a 19-yard gain. He is a first-year player out of Northeast Louisiana.
You know, Brisby's got great hands. He's had a great couple of weeks. Watch him go up here in traffic, catches it with nothing but hands, and he smartly, wisely gets on the ground very quickly. And I think his signature in his young career is going to be that motion for first down. After he makes the first down, he points his hand out. I think that's something we'll see from him. And now Bill is a little upset about something, maybe about that little showboating with the first down motion.
Yeah, I think it was. Patriots keep the drive going. Leonard Russell running wide right.
You know, Don, this is one of the first times in years that the Patriots have had a real home court advantage, home field advantage. They've got a lot of fans here. They love that fake call, and they are really having a good time. Now, here's what Parcells is upset about. This right, watch it, right there. First down.
The old Paul Brown line. Act like you've been there before. Second down, and just over a yard now for New England. Seattle leads the game 7-0. Bledsoe going the distance. He has an open man. What a breakup. The Pro Bowl safety Eugene Robinson comes across the field with Patrick Hunter, and the ball is tipped away.
That was an absolute perfect play by the free safety, Eugene Robinson. There's the pump fake. The corner buys it, but Eugene does not. Look at the range. Look at the right hand, just barely tapping it away, saving a touchdown. Eugene Robinson, that is the description of a free safety. You're supposed to play center field, and he did it perfectly.
The people watching in Hamilton, New York at Colgate University remember Eugene Robinson, a free agent who's become one of the best defensive backs in the NFL. Now to the run they go on third down. Jeff Bryant makes the stop on Leonard Russell, but he could have enough for yet another New England first down. Patriots working with a rather strong wind at their back. Seattle leads the game 7-0 on a superb opening drive engineered by Mirer, who threw for the touchdown to Brian Blades. Again, the chains come out. It's interesting, Bees, when we talk to these guys, how they rated Mirer and Bledsoe. They said they really graded out just about even overall, but they both had different attributes. Some were ahead in different categories. Bledsoe with arm strength and size, Mirer with mobility. Fourth down and inches. And again, they go at that power set. The Patriots, as the ball is positioned at the 27-yard line of New England. Seattle has beaten the Patriots 5 of the last 6 meetings, including a 10-6 win for the Seahawks a year ago in the stadium. Handoff. First down. Sam Gash, a runner out of Penn State. Going hard at the right side of the Seahawk defense is hit head-on by Kevin Murphy. But the Patriots drive on.
Sam Gash, another one of those short, powerful guys. He's about 5'11", 224 pounds. And you see the attitude with which he steps into the line of scrimmage. Some great play calling here, some excellent plays being made. Both coaches said they're looking for some guys to step up and become playmakers, make some plays. We're seeing it here today.
Our running game on both sides. And again, the Patriots run the ball. This time, good defensive pursuit. Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker out of Georgia Tech, came across to make the stop. Let's watch the Tez here, Beasley.
They love the Tez. It takes two people. There's one, there's two. They're double teaming him already, pushing him, rolling him. It's going to be a long, it's going to be a long day for the Tez. And on every play, they have double teamed him. And you've also probably noticed that when they really need some yardage, they don't exactly run at the Tez. That's a tough load there. That's 300 pounds a man.
And his attitude's as good as his ability. A tremendous competitor. And here's another good throw. Bledsoe over the middle. And this one is inside the 20-yard line and down to the 17. The receiver is running back Sam Gash, number 33.
Sam Gash is a very muscular athlete, but he's got very good hands. That's another thing that Parcells says that he likes about him. Good patience by Bledsoe as he waits until Gash clears in the middle, and then look at that. He took about 2 yards on his own.
The game clock ticking down, moving quickly in the first quarter. 13th play of the drive coming up now. 2:30 to play in the quarter. Seahawks lead 7-0. Patriots driving on their first possession. To the up the gut run, and they take it down to the 11-yard line. Blackman and Robinson, the safeties, combined on the stop.
You know, it's very difficult to see who's winning in the overall plan because both coaches, Parcells and Flores, said they'd like to run the ball to take some pressure off of their young quarterback. And both teams able to do so far.
Now the Patriots send out of the field for his first play in the NFL. Corey Kroom, number 26, a very fast running back. He's deployed left. He's a blocker on this play as Russell's the carrier, and he takes it inside the 10-yard line on first down, a gain of almost 5.
Rod Stevens.
1:36 to play. Parcells shuttling in the plays as the game clock down to a minute and a half to go now in the first quarter.
Parcells was telling us about young Corey Kroom, a kid that we didn't know anything about. He wasn't even on the lineup. He's a free agent. They got out of Ball State. And he's just supposed to be a good runner. We'll find out during the course of this game.
McMurtry coming in motion. Here's Bledsoe backpedaling a swing pass. Well thrown. Free ball. And it looks like Seattle is taking it back. So a most impressive New England drive falters on a big hit. Cortez Kennedy was in the middle of all that. Looked like the Tez might have fielded that ball.
You know what? I believe the Tez has himself a nice little interception here. Watch him. Where's the Tez? There's the Tez.
He does it all. Back at Foxborough, Bill Parcells has just seen his Patriots drive down the field. And on the 13th play, the unlucky 13th, it was Kevin Murphy who freed the ball and Cortez Kennedy who intercepted it. It's actually a fumble recovery as Warren will bust it out to the 20-yard line.
Chris Warren is so deceptive. When you see something that large running, you don't expect it to have 4.340 type of speed. Take a look as he steps into the hole. He's a long strider, a la Eric Dickerson, and that's one of his favorite players, by the way. And man, when he steps in there, look at that, 43 yards already. If they don't control this guy, normally quietly he gains over 100 yards. Today with a certain pizzazz.
They're going right back to him. Here's Chris Warren again on first down, but this time the Patriots sweep him under. A wave of blue jerseys taking him under. Chris Warren spent his first 2 years at the University of Virginia, didn't get a lot of playing time, and he transferred to Ferrum College, which is a Division III school. Tom Flores said when we looked at him on tape playing in Division III, he said it was like a guy from the NFL playing against a high school team. He's running for 200-300 yards by halftime. We weren't sure how good he was. Now we know. He's a standout, and his team, the Seahawks, holds a 7-0 lead and will have the ball when we come back. Mirer versus Bledsoe continues through the first quarter of play. They both played extremely well, but a turnover stopped the Patriot drive. As we look at the NFL natural gas quarterback efficiency leaders, Elway of the Denver Broncos, the #1 player. AFC quarterbacks, you see Bledsoe and Mirer's numbers. Mirer at 60% rating, but he completed 69% of his passes. He's now over 70% for the season. What brought his rating down was the no touchdowns till now and 3 interceptions. But he's thrown for a score today. Here's Warren running an open field, and he, on a 2nd down and 10 play, rockets ahead for a gain of about 17 yards.
You know, at some point they are going to realize you can't tackle this guy with your arms. He's too fast, and you have to put a manufacturer's logo on that guy. See the right L at the top of it, a Spalding, something you got to hit him with. Patriots defense is in trouble. Look at week 1, week 2, gave up 100 yards to Thurman Thomas, to Sanders at Detroit, and now Warren is working toward that 100 mark.
On just 9 carries, he's up to 61. Patriot coaches saying we hope our players don't think they're getting a day off. As Warren continues to blast ahead, some excellent blocking. Donaldson, the veteran center. And now the boos start to cascade down as Warren's just tearing it up, a 13-yard gain.
And you know, now you have to start talking about that offensive line too. Take a look at the push in there by number 76, Bill Hitchcock, opening up a huge hole for Warren, and he reads it perfectly.
Grow, another guy, the linebacker coach and defensive coordinator for the Patriots, talking about Chris Warren. Thurman Thomas in week 1, Barry Sanders in week 2. And they talked about in week 3 we're getting something just as tough, we think, in Chris Warren, and so far he's been every bit as tough. Mirer, a great deep thrower, lofting the ball down. Coverage is good, and it's picked off. Maurice Hurst with an over-the-shoulder reception.
Now, Don, the question that I would ask is why? Why do that? You are running the ball down their throats. Why try this? Perfect position by Hurst. A great play in front of Martin. I just don't understand why you would do that.
But the Patriots will take over at their 7. That's where the interception was made. Seattle dominating the game with its rushing, and you asked the question why.
Well, I don't understand why if you're going 8, 9 yards of pop with Chris Warren, that's the safest thing you can do is stick it in his. I'd let somebody stop me before I gamble with a long pass. I just don't understand why make that call.
Mirer playing perfectly up till then. His 4th interception of the season. Maurice Hurst with a brilliant play on defense for the Patriots. He caught the ball, intercepted at his 7. And his forward motion took him back to the end zone, but that's where the ball is marked at the 7. Bledsoe going deep, and he overthrows. Eugene Robinson comes down with the ball, and it goes back the other way. Ray Crittenden was the intended receiver, so on consecutive plays, the 2 quarterbacks, so heralded, throw deep balls that are picked.
Well, they tried to run an out and go or curl and go. You will see a pump fake by Bledsoe right there. Then the receiver takes off running down the sideline, but if you've got a great free safety, he reads it, he smells it, he sees it, tippy-toe on the sideline, the ball goes in the other direction.
The computer expert, Eugene Robinson, right in sync, timing up with the ball and keeping the feet in. That is the 8th turnover of the season in less than 10 quarters of play so far for New England. So Mirer and the Seahawks get another good chance now, starting at the 36. Hand up to Warren. He's ahead for 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. And now let's go to New York and Jim Lampley. Jim?
All right, Don, and let's go to Three Rivers, where there are worries about whether Neil O'Donnell can hum it, but he can throw the touch pass. That 3-yard TD to Ernie Mills gives the Steel City boys an early 7-0 lead over the Bengals. Let's go back to Don and Beasley.
We're at Foxborough. The ball is positioned now at the 35-yard line. 2nd down and 9 coming up. Seahawks lead the game 7-0. Hand off. Warren Takes it inside the 30 and down to the 29-yard line. The inside backer Chris Singleton got him, but only a couple of yards short of a first down.
This offensive line of Seattle is doing a great job. Look at number 64, Derek Brilch, pulling around from the backside. He steps into the hole, makes the great block on Vincent Brown. Chris Warren reads it perfectly. I'm telling you, if they keep it on the ground, these guys are going to have some trouble.
Numbers keep mounting for Warren.
82 yards carrying, rushing already on 12 tries. I'd feed him until they stop me.
They pick up the blitz, but not enough as Mirer goes down. Chris Slade, a rookie from Virginia, who was a first-team All-American last year and had 3 sacks a week ago against Detroit, gets his 4th of the season today.
Chris Slade coming from the right side of your field. That's just a bull rush. He crushes the offensive opponent and makes the sack. How about that? 3 sacks last week. Comes out with a forced fumble. This guy is off to a start. Parcells compared him a lot to Bill Parcells. To Lawrence Taylor when it comes to effort.
Casey now ready to try a field goal. It'll be a 52-yarder. Well, he's got a charge into it, but it's a little bit short. Did not get all of the ball with the wind behind him. He was hitting field goal tries over 50 yards into the wind before the game. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese back at Foxborough. Quarterback comparison, Mirer versus Bledsoe. It has really been the running, though, of Chris Warren of Seattle. It's been the difference in this game as the Seahawks hold to a 7-0 lead with 11:43 to play in the first half.
Both quarterbacks with slight miscues. Young quarterbacks learning on the job.
A little attention being given to the right foot of Chris Warren. High back, busts it through. This is the rookie, Corey Kroom, taking it straight ahead, and he's out close to the 40-yard line. Tackled by the middle linebacker, Rod Stevens.
Take a look at the blocking on the inside. Once again, there's the double on the Taz, on Cortez. They bend him back. Good lead blocking by Kevin Turner, and good running by Corey Kroom. Parcells told us that we would see some Kroom, so I don't think this has anything to do with Leonard Russell fumbling.
That usually indicates an ankle turn as they just tape right over everything. Chris Warren, 81 yards so far in the first half running. Here's a handoff straight ahead. Kroom runs again, and he is really drilled and knocked back by Cortez Kennedy, who has officially a fumble recovery today. The ball knocked in the air from Leonard Russell on an arm tackle by Kevin Murphy. Ball popped up after a reception by Russell, and Cortez Kennedy grabbed it. That stopped a Patriots scoring drive, or what appeared to be a potential scoring drive. Third down, 4 to go, ball on the 41-yard line. Bledsoe stands in, he gets time, rockets a pass downfield, and a terrific reception by Vincent Brisby. Defense was right there battling him for the ball. Carlton Gray, a rookie from UCLA, was on the play but couldn't knock it free, and also covering was Dwayne Harper.
You know, that's something that you can't you have to say good throw, good catch. Harper is all over the guy in perfect position, wraps him with the proper arm, tries to strip with the right arm, but Brisby fought him and got the ball. Good throw, good catch.
Very good catch. And now Bledsoe takes a deep drop, looking deep. Penalty marker goes down, and he does the right thing and throws it away. As the penalty marker's down in the secondary, we'll see what the call is. Foul's going to go against Seattle.
Holding, number 98, defense.
Bob McElwee, the referee.
Penalty.
The call was on
Automatic
Kevin Murphy,
first
an
down.
outside linebacker.
Kevin Murphy tried to prevent the back from hitting the sideline and then turning upfield. That's one way that you keep from having to run with a guy that's faster than you, is you try to grab him.
And then sometimes you get caught. There's Rufus Porter, the terrific pass rusher, troubled by a nagging hamstring injury, not in the lineup. Pitch back to Kroom. Parcells and the Patriots looking for more speed in their running game. Go to Kroom, and he runs it ahead. Tackled by Jeff Bryant, the 12-year veteran at defensive end for Seattle, and by Eugene Robinson.
Parcells said that Kroom is kind of intriguing. He has good vision, a good hard runner. And he told us that we'd see some of young Corey Kroom out of Ball State, and we have that.
Could see more. He's still in the backfield. Second down comes up now. Patriots need 6. Throw, and Bledsoe comes in a bit high as he tries to go to Kroom, swinging out of the backfield to the near side. And now the Seahawks send out extra defensive backs. Their nickel package comes in as the 3rd down and 6 play arises for the Patriots. Bruce Armstrong, number 78 there. 2 times an all-pro tackle for New England. Missed virtually all of last season with a knee injury, but has come back in great form. The most important line position, left tackle, the blind side for his quarterback. Bledsoe stands in. Tip ball. It was up for grabs. It's incomplete, and that brings up 4th down. It would be a very difficult field goal try into the wind.
That was simply very good coverage. Bledsoe didn't have very much to do with that football. The blocking by the offensive line was absolutely perfect. He had a beautiful pocket wrapped around him, but the coverage was very good.
And the first punt of the day coming up now as the ball is hit and knocked down by Mike Saxon. It hops into the end zone, and it'll come out on a touchback to the 20. Only a 20-yard net punt. Wind is a factor on this very cool but lovely September day in New England. Gusting out of the north. Ric Mirer and his team leading 7-0. They're working with the wind at their backs. Mirer with a deep drop again. Here's a downfield throw. He makes the connection. Coming down with the ball is Brian Blades, who hooked up with Mirer on that touchdown connection on the opening drive. That was good for 15 yards.
Patriots in a soft zone coverage. Brian Blades running down a nice curl pattern, nothing fancy. It goes down and turns inside, and Ric Mirer puts it right on the money. The key thing there is Blades able to catch with nothing but fingers and bring it down very safely.
Overhand throw by Mirer right on target. Now his team goes 1st and 10. Second back through, and Warren, they're reading his number every down now, as Warren is taken down by Chris Singleton. One of the really wonderful events in golf is 8 a.m. Eastern and Pacific. That's the Ryder Cup next weekend on NBC Sports. Here at Foxborough, it's 2nd down and 9 from the 37 for Mirer and the Seahawks. Warren turns it out, looks to turn it up, but Renee Thompson reads him all the way and stays with him stride for stride laterally, knocks him out of bounds. And now it forces Mirer into a deep throw.
That's a much better job by the Patriot defense. For the first time really tonight on back-to-back plays, they have controlled Chris Warren. Renee Thompson brought in from the Giants. Bill Parcells knows exactly what his talents are, and that time he uses them very well.
Only 2 yards in the last 2 carries for Chris Warren, but he has 84 yards for the day on 14 carries. 3rd down. Mirer needs 9. He eludes the rush. Running out of time. He swings it out. Blades has the ball. Leg driving ahead. He's to the 50-yard line. And Brian Blades makes another big play. Good for 12 yards and a 1st down. Mirer demonstrating his elusiveness, Beasley. He looked like he was gone, and then he got free and threw it to the wrong side.
Well, that's what he brings to the table now. Just great mobility, escapability. Now, Blades sees he's in trouble and starts to come back to his quarterback. That's one of those things that happen normally when you've played together for a while.
Well, the wrong side better put the difficult side. Mirer, a right-hander, was rolling left. And to torque his body back and fire its sidearm, so the drive continues for the Seahawks. Here's Warren. And he bowls ahead. 1st down carry, good for 9. Vincent Brown on the tackle. Seahawks power game has controlled the ball most of this game.
Watch number 76, Bill Hitchcock, pulling from the backside this time, sealing on the inside. Chris Warren reading it perfectly. Once again, that's one of the things that he does best, reading the blocking. Good job by the offensive line for the Seattle Seahawks.
Hitchcock, a tough customer from Purdue, second-degree black belt in karate. Leads the blocking. Now on 2nd down and 2. Marker goes down. It looks like it'll be a procedure call against Seattle. Somebody was in motion early. That'll stop the clock with 5 minutes and 27 seconds to play in the first half. It's interesting, yesterday talking to Mirer, Bob McElroy, the calls against Seattle will be a first down for the Seahawks. Call against New England, first down Seahawks.
Offside, number 56, defense.
Veteran
5
Andre
yards.
Tippett, 4 times a
First
Pro
down.
Bowl backer, offside.
You know, you were talking about Hitchcock being a second-degree black belt. Well, Andre Tippett has 3 different black belts and 3 different styles of karate. I'd hate to see those two get into it.
That'd be a good one. Talking about Mirer, he was as thrilled about Kevin McDougal having such success at Notre Dame as his successor at quarterback as anybody at Notre Dame is. Now McDougal emerging as a Heisman candidate as Mirer starts to run. He's in trouble, turns it up, and dances nicely out of bounds, so he turns it into a plus play. He got ahead for about 4 yards. Adrian White, who's another puncher. He's wants to be a professional boxer. The strong safety of the Patriots knocked him out of bounds. There's Adrian White. He was ready to turn professional. He played for Green Bay last year after 5 years with the Giants. He was in training for his first pro fight when Parcells and the Patriots signed him. Parcells said, when I hire defensive backs, it's to play safety, not to box. No boxing.
We could get Hitchcock, Tippett, and Adrian White into quite a little show out there.
Here's a handoff, and straight ahead is the former Patriot John Vaughn running hard for Seattle. He's at the 25-yard line, and he has a first down for the Seahawks. Adrian White was the tackler. Excuse me,
Bill Parcells was talking about a change of pace. Well, here's this change of pace that they traded away. They used to run Russell and then change it up with the quickness of John Vaughn. Vaughn led the National Football League in kickoff returns for the Patriots last year, and now he's getting a chance to relive some great memories here in Foxborough.
Yeah, he once ran one back 95 yards for a score against Phoenix, did John Vaughn. He gets the ball again, and he gets trouble on the right side as Adrian White starts to make plays. Number 38, 7-year veteran from Florida. It was interesting, Tom Flores, Beasley, talking about he has a team that's looking for an identity. They certainly found one in their power running so far through 2 quarters of play.
You know, they really have, and that's the luxury. That's a luxury for any football team, is to be able to run the ball effectively. Takes a lot of pressure off of your quarterbacks and just really controls the time of possession. It does a lot of positive things for you when you can run it well.
They've run it well, and they now have the 10th play of the drive coming up. Mirer takes a look, makes the throw. It's a connection. On 2nd down and 13, they're ahead for a gain of about 5. Brian Blades makes yet another catch. He's been the prime target for Mirer.
Well, at some point they have to pay a little more attention to Brian Blades. That's obviously the game plan. If we're not going to run it and we're going to pass it, we're going to get it to Blades. That time Seattle flooded the right side of New England's zone, and Mirer just played pick'em, and so far today his pick'em choice has been Brian Blades.
As you see, he's caught 5 for 43 yards, one of them a 4-yarder for the only score of the game, as Seattle scored on the opening drive, took it all the way down the field, primarily on the running of Chris Warren. A couple of good throws by Mirer, including the payoff throw.
The Seattle Seahawks were able to put anything on the board here. The New England Patriots will turn into a run and shoot offense with Drew Bledsoe just slinging it out there. So this is a very, very, very big defensive stand for New England and a great offensive opportunity for Seattle.
Clock officially showing 2:55 to play. Andre Tippett, he's been an enforcer at outside backer. And the Patriots may have lost a step, but he makes up for it in wisdom. Still a top player He's coming on a blitz now. Here's a third down play, a safety blitz, and they sweep Mirer under. Chris Slade was coming. The safeties were coming. 30, Corwin Brown, a rookie from Michigan, was coming.
Everybody is coming. Everybody let's meet at the quarterback, but the first one there is number 53, Chris Slade. The young man has put on a show for 2 weeks, coming from the top side of your screen out of the frame, and Mirer is flushed in that direction by the fact that the inside, the interior, in between the tackles of the Seattle offensive line simply crumbled under the weight of an all-out blitz. That's a gutsy call, and it's one that Mirer was worried about. You know, when we met with Mirer, he said, I've got to pick up the blitzes well. If I don't pick up the blitzes, I'll see a steady diet of it over the next few weeks because I'm a rookie. There it happened.
Oh, it happened big time. They sent everybody at Ric Mirer. Corwin Brown actually flushed him and ran him right into Chris Slade, who's credited with his 2nd sack of the day, his 5th sack of his rookie season in less than 10 quarters of play. Now we have the officials as Ric Mirer gets some counsel on the sideline. The players all talk about Meyer's command in the huddle. He came into camp, worked in the mini camp, even though he'd not signed his contract. Stayed away from any protracted holdouts. He wanted to learn. Delay of game is signaled against Seattle as the ball is positioned now at the 39-yard line of New England. And Tootin, the punter, drops back to his 46-yard line. He led the NFL in number of punts last year, 104. Not a statistic any team wants to have, the leading punter. It means you're not getting far in offense. Right now we have a break in the action, 2 minutes to play. We're back, 2 minutes to play in the first half. Rick Tootin into punt now for Seattle. The wind at his back. Seahawks continue to lead the game 7-0. Troy Brown, a rookie, is back for the New England Patriots. A pooch punt, nicely hit little wedge shot. As Seattle tries to cover it, it takes a Seahawk bounce, and so the Patriots will start out with 1:53 to play with the long field to go. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese back at Foxborough. Cortez Kennedy lives with the problem every great defensive lineman has, and that's the double and often triple teams he has to live with play after play. He's talking yesterday about he knows he's going to be sore after every game because he's getting hit on by people all the time. He's in just his 3rd year was voted the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year. 3rd player picked when he came out that year. Jeff George of the Colts was #1 at quarterback. Blair Thomas, who has yet to do it for the Jets, was #2 at running back. Cortez Kennedy has been a great one from day one. So far today, the Patriots giving him a lot of attention as he comes on the rush. Here's Bledsoe from his goal line. An out throw. Looks like a connection out to the 22-yard line. Well thrown ball by Drew Bledsoe as he comes in low away from the defense. Hurry up offense here, Bees.
Yeah, that's what they have to go to. You know, only a few seconds left, 1:33 left in the half. Bledsoe's going to do what he does best.
Working into the wind, quick timing throw. Now he comes back the other way. Patrick Hunter making a hit right on time. Hunter made a huge play here a year ago with 35 seconds left to play in the game. Patrick Hunter made an interception in his own end zone to stop a Patriot threat. And the Seahawks left Foxborough with a 10-6 win over New England. Hunter, a very underrated cornerback, as is his counterpart, Dwayne Harper. Very, very solid defensive secondary for Seattle. Very sound defense. Ray Perkins and Parcells both saying this is the best defense we play against so far this year. So it's better than Buffalo's, better than Detroit's. I don't know if the Bills are buying that, but that's what he said.
You know, this defense is rated 8th or 9th in the league, so there are some statistics that support exactly what Parcells was saying about the talent of the Seattle defense, and that's what Bledsoe is facing right now. Very good secondary, good linebackers, and great defensive line.
Coming up, it's the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka will bring you up to date with scores and highlights. And a preview of the second game that most of you will see, the Browns versus the Raiders from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Bledsoe with a little bit too much lead time to his standout tight end Marv Cook, a two-time Pro Bowl player. He's been to the last 2 Pro Bowls. Says a lot coming off a losing team.
It's very difficult to pass when everybody knows you are going to pass. And that's basically what Bledsoe ran into that time.
Now the Patriots have to punt, and Mirer and the Seattle offense will have 1:17 to work with the wind at their back.
Kelvin Martin, one of the most dangerous return men in the National Football League, and I would be very uncomfortable with him catching the ball around the 50, with 40-50 yard line.
Well hit punt by Saxon, who fields it at his 37. 1:09 left to go on the half, and the Seahawks have it in a moment. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese back at Foxborough, where Ric Mirer of the Seahawks has completed 5 of 7 passes, all 5 to Brian Blaze. But the real story has been the running of Chris Warren. It's dominated the game in time of possession.
It really has, and I think that Seattle went away from it a little too early a couple of possessions ago. Had they not, I believe they'd have more points on the board.
Right now they're holding to a 7-0 lead. And they come out of the huddle. Wind at their back. Bright sunny day in Foxborough. Mirer with 4 wide receivers. Makes a drop. Here comes the rush. He stands in. Fires downfield. Makes another completion. This time he gets it to Kelvin Martin, his first catch of the day, as the Seahawks executing that 2-minute offense, which right now is down to less than a minute. Now we have a timeout while the yard markers are brought out. Casey, who tried 1 field goal, you see the pass play just a yard short of a first down. Casey, who tried 1 field goal and mishit it, but he was booming long range, and he has a very strong wind at his back here. They could try a long one if they don't advance it a great deal. 3rd-year player out of Georgia. Career 73% field goal kicker. Had a great rookie year, 25 of 31. Erratic last year and has been this year.
I think Ric Mirer will face maybe 2 zone coverages, and then Parcells will tighten it up a little bit and go man for man and maybe a blitz about 2 plays from now.
Mirer stands in. Good blocking by his left tackle. As the throw downfield's good for a first down. And Kelvin Martin coming back at the ball. What a terrific kid this Kelvin Martin is. He comes into a room. Something about him, you'd like to have a guy like this on your team.
Oh, yeah, he's a fun guy, very positive. And this time he catches the ball and takes quite a drill in the back. Once again, Mirer purchasing time with his athletic ability. Watch the shot. Martin's a little bitty guy now, so it doesn't take a lot to knock him underneath the bleachers.
He wants to do well here. He played collegiately at nearby Boston College. Mirer stands. He throws. There's a connection down to the 42, and a penalty marker comes in from the back judge 40 yards away from the play. Let's see what this call is. It stops the clock. 36 seconds to play. So a timeout on the field. Back in a moment. Ric Mirer starting to build his passing numbers now, Beasley.
8 for 10 for 64 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he's completed the last 6 throws. So he's red hot right now, and this is the time for him to be hot. He hits himself a nice 15-20 yarder right here, and Casey's in field goal range.
Mirer in his first year out of Notre Dame, where he quarterbacked the Fighting Irish the last 4 years, and this is rookie season, has completed for the season 71% of his passes.
That's amazing.
Drew Bledsoe, he can take you down the field in a hurry too, and right now he's powerless to help the Seahawks as it's Mirer at work in the final minute of the first half. Ric Mirer on the run, and he is swept under. That'll be a sack at the 43-yard line. No gain as he tried to scramble. 3rd sack of the day. Andre Tippett was coming, and Slade was also on it. The Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report is coming up momentarily. Redskins have just come from behind and gone in front of the Eagles at Philadelphia. Second game of today's doubleheader, a preview you'll see at halftime of the Browns versus the Raiders. Both those teams are off to 2-0 starts.
Well, you know, I said that Bill Parcells would go a couple of zone plays back to back, see what Seattle was able to do with it. We're getting real close to that time where he's got to make that decision. Do I go a little man for man now? Do I tighten up the screws a little bit? Because a first down here equals a field goal try for Casey. The wind is at his back, and I'm sure that New England would like to go to the locker room just down 7 points.
Mirer has never been on a team prior to this one where he's lost 2 games in a row. He's been on big winners his whole career. At Goshen, Indiana High School, led that team to a state championship in Indiana, passed for almost 400 yards in the championship game, and was rated the #1 quarterback in America, the #1 high school football player in America, and ended up as the #2 pick overall in the draft. Both these guys, Bledsoe and Mirer, already multi-millionaires with more to come. A lot of gold out there if you can flag it, huh?
Well, you know, I'd like to be the stockbroker that had both accounts. If I had both of those guys, I could relax.
That's all you need.
You know, you're talking about money. Bledsoe went out and bought a Suburban and a Porsche. Those are the 2 cars he always wanted since he was a kid. And now he's tooling around the back roads of Foxborough, Mass in the Suburban, and probably headed to Boston. I figure when he goes to Boston, he probably takes the Porsche. What do you think?
Could be. Sounds right. And his dad, Mac, came all the way down from Walla Walla, Washington, and on a Harley, drove 3,000 miles to see the Patriots game, their first game, the home game of the season, then went to Washington to see a friend, then shipped the bike back and flew back. One of his coaches in high school for the Walla Walla Blue Devils. Here's a sack, and that takes them out of field goal range. Andre Tippett blasts through the blockers as Mirer is sacked for the 4th time.
That was the man-for-man coverage that we have been anticipating. Couple of zones to see what they would do, then solid man-for-man coverage in the back. As a result, Mirer can't find anybody, and there comes the veteran, Andre Tippett, with a kind of a roundhouse body twist from one of those black belts that he owns.
Body slam. They're not looking to keep you in the game if they can help it. Seattle has now lost 27 yards on the 4 sacks. Game clock down to 25 seconds to play. Might be thinking they might run that draw to Warren here pretty soon to do something to offset this Patriot pass rush. And again, a reminder that one of the great events in golf, the 30th Ryder Cup, is coming up next weekend here on NBC Sports, as the best players from the USA footer that would have gained a tie and kept the Ryder Cup with the European team.
Andre Tippett didn't have any tackles at all on opening day. Coach got on him a little bit. He had 10 last week, and now there he is with 2 sacks. That's what I call responding.
Another blitz, another throw, and again Mirer is hit as he releases the ball. He was trying to get it to John L. Williams. Patriot defenders all congratulating themselves. It's going to have to be a running game as the Patriots are really getting the heat on Ric Mirer.
Now this is called a hurry. That's called a hurry by Chris Slate. That's an actual category that defensive coaches love. So the man's got 2 sacks and a hurry now. You know, with Chris Slate, we may be seeing something.
Oh, he's terrific.
We may be seeing the start of something big right there.
I spoke at a big March of Dimes dinner in Detroit that he was honored at as the Defensive Player of the Year. His dad was there. I thought somebody should draft his dad. He looked like he could play in the NFL. Here's a punt downfield as the ball's hit inside the 20. Kept out of the end zone. Well, you know the Patriots are going to run out the clock here with 12 seconds to play. They're starting at their 1-yard line.
The Patriots had no return men back. None whatsoever. They had what they call a punt safe in the game. And let's see if we got this back in there. Without question, that's a great job. Great job keeping the ball inside. Also very smart by the Patriots, though, by going to a punt safe to make sure that there's no fake involved and allowing the ball to just bounce, and they'll probably, like you said, Don, just probably set this one out.
Here they won't gamble. They almost scored on an earlier gamble on 4th down when they did get the first down and drove on down before turning the ball over. So that'll do it for a very quick first 2 quarters of play. Coach Parcells and his Patriots came in as the favorite But Ric Mirer, with his passing and the running of Chris Warren, has led the Seattle team to a 7-0 halftime lead. They'll both be out firing in the second half, and we'll be back with Jim Lampley in the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report after a message from the NFL. But first, a word from your local station.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza, where you always get great pizza plus something for nothing.
Welcome back. Those of you who have been watching the game between the Seahawks and the Patriots in Foxborough, Mike Ditka will offer his comments on that game. But first, let's take a look at the highlights from the first half, in which, as you know, the Seahawks have taken a 7-0 lead in search of their 5th win in 6 games against New England. Drew Bledsoe, the #1 pick in the entire draft, against his opposite number, Ric Mirer, #2 pick in the draft. Look at the scramble by Mirer on the first possession for the Seahawks. That team hasn't had that kind of explosiveness since Jimmy Zorn was playing quarterback years ago. And 5 plays later, Ric Mirer's first NFL touchdown pass, a 4-yarder to Brian Blades. That was the game's only touchdown. It gave the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. The rookie quarterbacks will have some problems, as you see here. Mirer, looking to the goal line, is picked off by Patriots defensive back Maurice Hurst. Hurst was out of bounds in the shadow of the goal line, setting Bledsoe up deep. And on the very first play, Bledsoe returned the favor, overshooting his receivers well downfield, intercepted by Seahawks safety Eugene Robinson. Just a kind of a look at the experience of all rookie quarterbacks in the National Football League. All in all, Mike, both of them playing reasonably well.
I think so, really. You can't base anything on a couple interceptions. They were bad choices, but actually the balls weren't thrown that bad. The ball, the Mirer throw was thrown pretty good. The kid just stepped behind it and caught the ball. But the thing about the Seahawks in this football game is they're running the ball so effectively. I mean, they just have a good, sound running game. They're going to take a lot of pressure off the quarterback if they run it that way. On the other hand, Bledsoe doesn't have a running game. More pressure is going to fall on him. Bill's going to have to throw the ball more. When you throw it more, bad things happen.
And while the Hawks get to run against the weakest rush defense in the league, New England has a patched-up offensive line against Cortez Kennedy.
They've lost a couple guys, and I don't care who they have on the field, but nobody's going to block Cortez Kennedy effectively unless they use more than one man.
All right, let's go to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia and pick up what's happening between the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles. Kerry Conklin has engineered 2 touchdowns for the Skins and an 80-yard touchdown pass from Randall Cunningham to Calvin Williams in Cunningham's 100th NFL game. It is 14-10 Skins over the Eagles. What about Conklin in this one, Mike?
Well, he's performing. You know, he's getting a little bit of time with a revamped offensive line there, too. They got a lot of people hurt. Jacoby stepped in, and Joe's always been a steady player. He's playing pretty good for him, but he's moving the ball around to different receivers. They're running the ball fairly effectively against a good Eagles defense. Of course, the big touchdown that Randall came back and got will give the Eagles a big lift for the second half.
Saints against the Detroit Lions, and the #1 rated passer in the NFC, Wade Wilson, got off to an awful start in this game. But through a late touchdown pass in the half to Hobie Brenner, it is 7-3 Saints at halftime. Pat Swilling of the Lions playing against his old team despite the death of his father yesterday. Los Angeles Rams in the Meadowlands to take on the Giants. The Giants have dominated the action in the first half. They lead 13-3 at the half. Held the Rams, Mike, to only 54 yards total offense in the half.
Yeah, they've been sacked 4 times. They've held the Rams to very little with their defense. But the thing that bothers me in this football game, they've had the ball the whole half. They've run it effectively, passed it effectively, but they haven't been able to score points. They were stopped on the goal line, inside the 5-yard line twice, and this could come back to haunt them later in the football game, believe me. Dan doesn't like that. I mean, they're going to reanalyze what they're doing on the goal line, believe me, because that kills you if you can't put touchdowns up down there.
Sims sacked 4 times, as you say, but what poise he exhibits. It doesn't seem to bother him.
Well, you know, I tell you, I've been around a little bit, and I tell you, this kid has more guts and more know-how with the game on the line than anybody in the business. I mean, he just is a gutty guy. He loves the challenge of competition.
The kid, incidentally, is 37 years old, but does sometimes still play like a kid. Meanwhile, in Three Rivers Stadium, the Pittsburgh Steelers, searching for their offense in early season, have found it. They lead 17-7 at halftime over Cincinnati. Bengals sack leader Alfred Williams of a year ago carted off for x-rays after a left thigh injury, hasn't been back. Steelers' second possession of the game. Here's Barry Foster enjoying the new contract, 15 carries, 85 yards in the first half. That was a 14-yard gain that set up this touchdown pass 5 plays later from Neil O'Donnell to Ernie Mills, 3 yards in the corner of the end zone. It was 7-0 Steelers at that point. Later in the second quarter, the Steelers drive again. Watch Dwight Stone get the call on one of the Steelers' signatures, the reverse. He cuts loose for 27 yards. It would set up a 33-yard Gary Anderson field goal, which made it at that time 10-0 Pittsburgh. Late second quarter, this is the first Cincinnati touchdown in 9 quarters. Klingler off play action finds Carl Pickens, who sheds Darren Perry at the back line and holds the football on a 15-yard TD. And with less than a minute and a half, the Steelers answered back. Neil O'Donnell throwing to Yancey Thigpen, who has his first NFL touchdown from 18 yards out. That made it 17-7 Pittsburgh. O'Donnell struggling with the bad elbow. Well, not much. 12 out of 13 in the first half. More than 10 yards per completion, 2 touchdowns. He looks terrific today, Mike.
He does. He looks great. He's throwing the ball, moving around to everybody. They got a good running game. The defense is playing pretty good. Cincinnati does not look good on defense, really. They made some mistakes. The touchdown pass, you saw the Thigpen, nobody in the area. Somebody blew a coverage. So, you know, you can't do those things. That's going to kill them. And I think they're having enough problems struggling now. All they're going to do by playing defense like they're playing right now is put so much more pressure on Klingler. And I don't know if he's ready for all that pressure.
You wonder if Klingler is going to survive into NFL maturity, the number of times he's been hit early in his career.
Well, even the touchdown pass he threw, Jim, he had to step out of the way of 2 guys. He made a great move to get it to the kid. And you know, the kid made a great catch.
Got to be a hero every play. In our next segment, we will be previewing the game that many of you will see later this afternoon between the Cleveland Browns and the Los Angeles Raiders in the LA Coliseum. That's coming up next as NFL Live Halftime continues.
Casey of the Seahawks just hit the opening kickoff into the end zone, so the Patriots will start on their 20 on a touchback, 1st down and 10. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese. First half statistics for the competing quarterbacks. Those 2 top draft choices in the last selection back in April, and that's how they stand. 7-10 and 6-12 for Bledsoe.
For both quarterbacks, the numbers are relatively similar.
Here's a penalty marker down, and the Seahawks signal they've got the football. Let's see if the officials concur. The dangerous area of the field for the Patriots to lose the ball. There was a penalty marker down, and there was a loose football. Preliminary signals against the Patriots. There's a legal procedure, might be negate the play. We'll see. Infraction will be coming before the snap. Bob McElwee.
Offense, 5 yards, 1st down.
See, that negated the turnover. The illegal procedure coming before the play was instituted.
You know, when you take a look at this, really the center is the one who never moves the ball. It's like he forgot. Arthur forgot what the snap count was. Everybody else moved.
That makes it 1st down and 15 now as Drew Bledsoe takes a deep drop, and they get him. He gets away, throws downfield, and makes the connection. Bledsoe pulling something out of a hat, rabbit out of a hat trick. He got it to Vincent Brisby. You see the strength of his arm as he did a pirouette, then rifled the ball on a tight spiral right on the line.
Well, that's what Parcells talked about. Watch this. Nothing but a flick. That's strength. Even being pushed backwards by the Tez, he has the presence and the ability. Look at that, right on target, using nothing but the wrist.
Well, he negates what would have been a substantial loss and instead gets a gain of almost 10 yards. 2nd down and a long 5 with the ball in position. Bledsoe coming out throwing. He swings it out. Good coverage on the play. Linebacker Kevin Murphy, who made that big play in the first half when he popped the ball free from Leonard Russell. The ball that was picked up in midair for a fumble recovery by Cortez Kennedy. Here are the first half statistics.
You know, the 2 keys in these stats: number 1, rushing yards, Seattle controlling the ball, and then go down to the bottom of your screen. That equals time of possession. Keep the ball away from the other team, you've got a better chance of winning.
3rd down and 6 now coming up for Seattle. Bledsoe with a 3-step drop hits a wide open man for a 1st down. And super fast Michael Timpson is still on the move out across the 45-yard line. Robinson, the Seattle free safety, finally got him, but on 3rd and 6, Bledsoe connects with Timpson for a 24-yard gain.
Just a nice little in and out play. The widest receiver goes out in. The inside receiver, Timpson, goes out. He's by himself, and then with some nifty little footwork, able to get a little breathing room for this New England Patriot offense.
Come on, Hawk!
So the ball is out to the 48-yard line. Patriots trailing by 7. A pitch back goes to Leonard Russell. And Russell is swept under. He doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of about a yard on the play.
You know, it's very difficult to try to play catch-up against this highly rated Seattle defense. They are stringing it out to the sideline very well. They make very few mistakes. When you try to go deep, somebody like Eugene Robinson is right there to make a play. So this is a very difficult defense to play catch-up against.
And a former Syracuse University standout, Terry Wooden, the left outside linebacker, also a key factor in shutting that run down for a loss. Bledsoe on 2nd and over 10. Lofts the ball. A little bit too much on it as he was going to tight end Ben Coates, number 87.
Well, he had Coates there. Coates had a couple of steps on the coverage. That's one of the soft spots. Very difficult throw, but he certainly has the talent to do it. Look at Cortez Kennedy working again. There are two people waiting. There's Arthur waiting to help out. That's tough. I mean, after a while, you get tired, and you know there's even a tendency to back off a little bit when you know 2-3 people are going to be blocking you every play.
Even got hit a little bit there, Bees, by one of his own guys, Tua Tagovailoa. Starts to hurt. 3rd down and 10. Just over 10. Here's a throw and a catcher. No, it's an incomplete pass. Risby, the rookie from Northeast Louisiana, had his hands on the ball but lost it going down. A very sure-handed receiver who Bill Parcells said had the best hands on the team.
Just a little bit behind him on the pass here. Still, it should have been caught. Yep, should have been caught. He took his eye off it just at the last second. Boy, he made some great catches last week, though.
Well, he caught one from Bledsoe with 12 seconds left. Touchdown pass on a slant play. And that tied the game against the Lions and sent it to overtime, where Detroit won on a field goal, 19-16. Calvin Martin is back awaiting Mike Saxon's punt. Saxon booms it into the wind. Angles it beautifully.
That's a great punt. Wow.
Chris Slade, a 2nd-round draft choice, picked at the top of the 2nd round. A terrific player already. 2 sacks today, 3 last week. Playing across from an old friend, now an adversary on the playing field, Ray Roberts, number 73, who was the #1 draft choice of the Seahawks out of Virginia a couple of years ago. And they have really had a battle. They had them at Virginia going against each other day after day. Now Ric Mirer backed up in his own end with the Seahawk offense, goes to the run. Chris Warren, they were reading that 42 all the way. 3 ball. What's the ruling? No touchdown signal. Apparently the play was down. Bob McElwee, the referee, right there. Mike Pitts grabbed the ball, the former standout at Alabama.
Forward progress.
So he wasn't down, but the forward progress, he wasn't down on the ground, but he was called down because the forward progress was stopped before he was stripped of the ball. There's Tippett digging around in there. Look at Tippett's right hand. He pulled it out, but they had already blown him dead.
This could be some half of football. Patriot defense came out fanning the fire at halftime to Bill Parcells. Here's a play fake. Mirer buys time, makes the throw to John L. Williams, and he's ahead for a 1st down. A beautiful play fake, throws everybody, freed up John L. Williams, and the big guy makes his first play of the game.
You know, John L. Williams is, he could be called the best receiving running back in football right now. 74 receptions last year catching the ball. That was 3rd in the National Football League. And take a look at that. 15-yard gain and great play fake coming at just the right time.
That was his 9th catch of the year, and it was a big one. It got Seattle out of jail as they're out to the 25-yard line. Straight ahead. 1st down runs of Chris Warren were dominant early in this game when the Seahawks drove down the field after the opening kickoff and scored on a 4-yard pass play from Mirer to Blades. But it was the running of Warren that kept it going. Now they're reading his number, looking for him. Linebackers keying on him. His production up to 96 yards through 17 carries. At one point he had 82 yards on just 12 carries. Mirer again on a called rollout, swings it out, beautifully thrown to his tight end. Paul Green takes it ahead, and he's up for a 1st down for the Seahawks out to the 37-yard line. So Mirer now going to some tricks here, Beasley, to try to elude this big pass rush.
Well, the play fakes are working because they respect Mr. Warren all of a sudden. So the play fake brings everybody into the line of scrimmage, and there's your tight end, Green, all alone to make the catch. That's what can really make a guy dangerous. A quarterback can really gets dangerous when he's got some help, like Chris Warren.
Warren is now the lone setback. First down and 10. Mirer stands in, gets some time, throws another perfect strike right down the middle, and running hard with the ball is the two-time Pro Bowl tight end from Miami, Farrell Edmonds. He played with the Dolphins early in his career. He's ahead for a 19-yard gain, as Mirer right now is at his very best.
Well, he's really working it well now. Great blocking up front, maximum protection, sending only 3 receivers into the pattern. All 6'6" of Farrell Edmonds bringing it in with a nice gain and a first down.
19-yard pickup. Edmonds went to consecutive Pro Bowls as a Dolphin, played collegiately at Maryland. Mirer goes to the run. His passing now loosens up the running game, and Chris Warren's ahead for a gain of almost 6 yards down to the 38-yard line. So the Seahawks, as they open the game with an impressive drive, now open the third quarter with another one.
You know, it's very difficult to call defenses when they're doing everything well. Chris Warren with over 100 yards now, 101 in fact. So when you're running it well and you're passing it well and mixing it up, and that's what the Seattle Seahawks coaching staff is doing now, mixing it up very well, it's hard to call defense.
Second down and 5, sliding through the gap and getting ahead for yardage is Chris Warren again. At 6'2", 225 pounds. You remember he was troubled a little bit by a slight ankle sprain in the first half, but never missed a down. There's Larry Kennan, his offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. Flores, a former NFL quarterback. He's the only one other guy who's gotten a Super Bowl ring as a player, an assistant coach, and a head coach besides Tom Flores. And that one other guy is, we'll tell you after this play, but you were just watching him at halftime. It's Mike Ditka. We'll tell you before this play. Here's a handoff straight ahead. John Vaughn, the former Patriot, runs it inside the 30-yard line down to the 29. Vincent Brown and John Washington, the tacklers for New England.
You know, Parcells is not used to seeing this kind of defense. He's not used to seeing his defense confused, not knowing what to expect. Kept on the field all day long now through the time of possession. Seattle offensive coordinators and coaches doing a great job now mixing up the run and the pass very well.
Myers completed his last 3 passes and 8 of his last 9. His last 4 passes in succession he's completed. This is close to a first down as he goes to the sure-handed fullback from Florida, John L. Williams. John L. has done the job year after year. Never's had a 1,000-yard rushing year, but he catches a ton.
See, once again, a little slight play fake, but everybody's respecting it. And they respect it because they're running the ball so well. This is perfect offense. It's easy to call offensive plays when you got a real threat at when it comes to your running game, and your quarterback is one of the most accurate, probably the most accurate short passers in the game right now. He's only played 3 games, but when you complete 70% of your passes, you get a lot of confidence.
First down, Seattle.
Up over 70% in completions for the season now. He's up to 72% for the season. He's thrown for 1 touchdown today. He was intercepted once and a long throw. First down and 10. A most impressive drive by Seattle. Wind at the Seahawks back, driving here in the third quarter and holding to a 7-0 lead. Chris Warren powers ahead. He's down close to the 17-yard line. Seahawks don't see much of the beautiful city of Seattle through the early part of the season. 3 of their first 4 games on the road. They're at Cincinnati next week.
You know, this Patriot defense is having a lot of trouble. Today they're having trouble with Chris Warren, but in week 1 it was Thurman Thomas, 114. Then the dangerous man, Detroit, 148. And now Al Groh, as you see in the left side of your screen, is having trouble with Chris Warren today. Warren goes into a pile, and the pile backs up.
Mirer again, play faking, looking. He's got an open man now. His coverage comes up, and Renee Thompson and Mirer wisely triggers the ball wide of Blades.
Smart decision by Ric Mirer that time to put it out front of the receiver to the point where if my receiver can't catch it, nobody can. This is a very good decision by a young quarterback. This is the area in the field where a mistake is most devastating. Mistakes are always tough in football. It's a game of mistakes. But when you make a mistake at the 20-yard line, it can be a deflating, a devastating effect to the team's psyche. A very smart decision.
Big down now, 3rd down. Mirer and the Seahawks need 6. Here's the throw to John L. Williams. He beats one tackler and another. And John L. Williams makes one of the big plays of this game to get ahead for a 1st down after being hit short. Mirer took a shot in the face.
Well, that time Renee Thompson had a little too much running back on his hands. The play fake once again. Why does it work? Because they're running the ball well. And then when you're coming up against a guy that's bigger than you, like John L. Williams, you got to get your arms around something. And Renee Thompson tried to butt him, but it's a much bigger man. Much bigger man. Much bigger man. Good moves also.
So Rick comes out. Well, I take a look at his eye as he apparently got eye grazed. Stan Gelbaugh's in now. He goes to the run. Chris Warren doesn't get anywhere, and a penalty marker comes in after the play. There are Stan Gelbaugh's numbers. Last year, he played collegiate at Maryland. Might be a holding call against the Seahawks. Myers not coming back in at this moment. While he's been in, he's hit 12 of 16 throws for 116 yards.
Offense. 10 yards, 1st down.
What it looked like they were working on Ric Mirer's eye. He's trying to regain his vision. Let's see if we can see where he got poked in the eye. Coming out on the play fake. Oh my goodness, there it is right there. The reach up by big Mike Pitts got a finger inside of the helmet.
So now it is 1st down outside the 20-yard line. Back to the run. Warren spinning off tacklers, and he's down to the 16-yard line as they keep the ball in the middle of the field to give, if needed, Casey the best field position to try a field goal. There's John Casey.
Chris Slade falling on the inside to help on that tackle. They have to tackle Chris Warren by committee. It's not an individual effort with a man that big and that fast.
Warren now up to 117 yards rushing for Seattle. He's done it on 21 carries. 2nd down. Gelbaugh, who had no time to warm up after Mirer was poked in the eye, has to throw it. He gets time. He makes the connection. On the run is Blades, and he's down close to the 11-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10 from there.
For New England.
Ric Mirer, who was called by his All-American teammate Jerome Bettis the toughest player on the Notre Dame team last year, shakes off the poke in the eye. You see he's got the flak jacket on. He's needed that today. He's taken some hits. Another of his great attributes, he's there every week. Never missed a game at Notre Dame.
Smart decisions. That's what they need from the quarterback position right now.
Let's see if that all-out blitz comes. It often does down this end of the field. Mirer goes to the run to Warren. And he is down to the 7-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down, and here comes the field goal unit. John Casey, who kicked at Georgia, comes out with 3:35 to play and the clock running in the 3rd quarter.
Casey coming in having completed 3 out of 4 attempts for the season. Very good kicker. Should be a chip shot for an NFL quality athlete at that position.
See him warm up. Looks like Jan Stenerud. He's had some trouble the last couple of years. For a great rookie season. He drills this one up and through. So Casey powers the ball through. And the underdog Seahawks extend their lead to 10-0. Ric Mirer has been impressive, leading Seattle to a 10-0 lead over the favored Patriots. He took a poke in the eye. He's still being looked at. Now, after Casey's field goal, he kicks off a high spinning kick that'll carry short. Two sprinters are back there. Troy Brown, who fumbled last week on the first kickoff and it was turned into a touchdown, this time holds on tight and gets the ball out to the 18-yard line for the Patriots. Drew Bledsoe set to go in a moment. How good is the Seattle defense? Well, this season, playing two good teams, San Diego and Seattle, does not allow a second-half touchdown. And if New England's to win this game, which they're favored to do, they need 2 second-half touchdowns, and that's the man entrusted with the offense, rookie Drew Bledsoe from Washington State. Cougar from Pullman. He hails, as I mentioned, from Walla Walla, Washington. Said one thing about being picked by New England, and not with Mirer been picked by New England, he would have gone to Seattle. He said he can have a second life here in Washington, a state he loves. He said it would be talking football year-round. He said it is for his family now. Here's a throw back to the wrong side. Bledsoe triggering his throw, looking at McMurtry. Came in alone away, incomplete. Ray Perkins, a longtime figure in the NFL, a former head coach of the New York Giants, in the press box. One of he is the offensive coordinator of the Patriots, and he goes way back, I guess, with Bill Parcells, doesn't he, Beasley?
You know, he really does, and him getting this job is sort of a thank you, because he hired Bill Parcells when he's the head coach of the Giants, gave him a big opportunity that he took complete advantage of, by the way. Gets a payback by getting a job.
Again, Bledsoe comes in off target. That time he was trying to go to his tight end, Ben Coates, and a couple of pops put on by Patrick Hunter and Kevin Murphy.
You know, when Ray Perkins was the head coach of the Giants, you know, he left the team to Bill Parcells, but he didn't leave him empty-handed. Look at some of the people that Ray Perkins personally went out and scouted and drafted. Sims, Lawrence Taylor, Joe Morris, people who were key in that decade reign of terror that the Giants let out that ended up in 2 Super Bowl rings.
Bledsoe under the rush, stands in, makes the throw, and it's tipped away. Moving at the ball was Greg McMurtry, and Raphael Robinson, an extra defensive back, made the play as Seattle's defense is taking over the game, and there's a holding call signaled now against New England.
Offense. That penalty is declined.
Pat Harlow, the right tackle, called for holding. The penalty declined by the Seahawks, who will take the punt.
You know, you get the feeling that this offense has been deflated a little bit. It doesn't seem as energetic, and Bledsoe was much more efficient passing early on in the game. So somebody needs to grab them over the sideline and shake them up a little bit and let them know that they're a touchdown away from being back in this game. They need to wake up.
He can make it happen fast. Bledsoe, he did a week ago to get his team back in the game and send it to overtime. Here's the punt downfield to Kelvin Martin. He crosses midfield inside the 45, and he's down to the 42. So Ric Mirer and the Seahawks will go to work again when we come back.
Return inside the Patriots 45-yard line.
Stan Gelbaugh has come in a second time now here in the third quarter to replace Ric Mirer after Mirer was hit in the eye on a hand swipe inadvertently by Mike Pitts, who was trying to reach him over a blocker. Number 93 takes a swipe at him and caught his left eye. Mirer went out for a while, came back in, and got the Seahawks in position for Casey's field goal that upped their lead to 10-0. Now Gelbaugh's back in. We're told that they put some drops in Meyer's eye. And on the run is Doug Thomas. He's ahead for about 5 yards for the Seahawks. And now while we have a moment, let's go to NFL Live in New York. Jim?
All right, Don, that dormant Pittsburgh offense has awakened in a big way as Neil O'Donnell perfects the art of throwing to the back line of the end zone. Third touchdown pass of the day for O'Donnell, tying a career high. This one, a 9-yarder to Dwight Stone, set up by a 39-yard Rod Woodson punt return. Back to Don Criqui.
Thank you, Jim. Well, we here have 1 minute and 54 seconds to play in the third quarter. Gelbaugh running the offense. 2nd down and 6 coming up for Seattle. Hand off to Warren. He's having a big day, but there's no room to go there as the game wears on more and more. They've got people keying on him every down, including the impressive rookie from Virginia, Chris Slade, who was on the stop, along with Adrian White.
Well, that's the first time that the Patriots have stopped that particular play. And that should be encouraging for the defense that has also fallen asleep a little bit.
Defensive coordinator Al Groh signaling out the defense. Seattle with 159 yards rushing. New England with only 47 yards rushing. Gelbaugh play faking, makes the throw, and it's a good one. John L. Williams on the run, a first down and more, and he is down to the 15-yard line. Renee Thompson finally knocked him out of bounds, but an excellent throw by Stan Gelbaugh, good for 22 yards.
Once again, it's the play fake that makes it work. Just a little step at Chris Warren, and everybody, all the defenders were jumping to the inside. John L. Williams hits him for 22 yards, and Bill Parcells is probably fit to be tied right now because the defense just seems like it has no clue, no idea what they're going to do.
There's no question these fakes and rollouts, Beasley, are freezing that Patriot defense, taking the rush away. Out of the run, straight ahead. Warren breaks it. He's inside, and he's all the way in for a touchdown. So right now, Seattle has taken over this game and as an underdog could be en route to a rout of the Patriots. A happy guy is Coach Flores. He should be. His team was ready.
Well, that was impressive blocking, and it didn't take a lot of running from the big man, Chris Warren, right off the hip of Bill Hitchcock and Andy Heck. Ray Donaldson, the veteran center. Good blocking up front by the offensive line.
Seahawks were hoping for a great day from Chris Warren. They got one. 24 carries, 137 yards and a touchdown. Point after is up and good. Look at those numbers. Pro Bowl numbers. Week after week, he's been grinding out the yards.
It's a nice draw play, and it's Hitchcock, and it's Andy Heck, and all the guys that nobody ever mentions. Those offensive linemen just spread it out for him, and the big guy, Chris Warren, made it happen. Take a look at the double teams up front. Look at the line. It's like there's an alley in there, and you can't tackle Chris Warren with your arms. You try that, you're wasting your time. 225 pounds of running back.
And what this does now to Drew Bledsoe of the Patriots is forces him and his offense into an all-out passing game. 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. They don't have time to try to sustain offense with a run-pass mix. They got to start firing on every down. That's the Ryder Cup next weekend on NBC Sports. Talking about Bernard Langer missing that 5-foot putt that would have gained a tie for the Europeans the last time 2 years ago at Keogh Island. What kind of a competitor is he, though? A week later, he went and won the German Masters, one of the premier tournaments in Europe. A lot of guys would have folded the tent. Not been heard from again. After a knockout punch like that, he came back and was better. Troy Brown receives the kickoff in the end zone, 5 yards deep, downs it for a touchback. And the Patriots come out 1st and 10 at their 20.
Well, it's Bledsoe time. We'll see how he can work from behind. He needs to get a little more accurate with those passes. He's done it in the past. We saw it over and over during his college days.
He had limited college experience. He was just that good. He came out after his junior year. He only started 28 games for the Cougars of Washington State. Well, look at that rifle arm. Bledsoe shows his fastball Fires it out on the flat to Ray Crittenden, a very fast rookie. They could be sending him deep pretty soon. Ray Crittenden, as they're going right into a hurry up here for a thing.
Well, you know, they've got the opportunity to let Bledsoe use that, like you called it, a fastball. That one was low and away from the defense.
And that will do it for 3/4 of play. Seattle has been dominant. Seahawks lead 17-0. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
By authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Ric Mirer, a bit ago, put on some sunglasses. He has slight blurred vision in his left eye, and with a 17-0 lead, they're electing to hold him out the rest of the game. He doesn't seem to be in too much discomfort, though. Played a terrific game.
Number 99.
Will get along with his team his first W of the year, his first W as an NFL quarterback. Unless the Patriots do something monumental over the last 15 minutes. Bledsoe is the man that has to lead the way. His team down 17-0.
Take a look at the difference in the rushing yards. Seattle versus New England. Seattle with a powerful 172 yards rushing. And like we told you earlier, a lot of that to go with Chris Warren. You know, Seattle has held New England to -1 yard rushing in the 3rd quarter, and that's where they've taken over.
They surely have. A very impressive show by the Seattle Seahawks, a team that defensive call on the Tez left a little. Seattle, a team that's lost 21 of its last 25 games.
Oh, the Tez off and running, and when you get 300 pounds moving,
tough to hide.
You can't bring it back. you can't stop it.
Bill Parcells talking about he doesn't look like a great player, and he's kind of a hefty guy, but until you shake his hand, you get the feeling he could crunch that up like a piece of tinfoil if he's so.
Yeah, no, that body is not the prototype of a all-pro defensive lineman, and that looked like he could do more damage to a double cheeseburger than an offensive quarterback. But boy, he's a tough one. Now, man, let me tell you something. I wouldn't want to be in the practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with Bill Parcells after this defensive showing.
Next time out for the Patriots, they head down to Giant Stadium to play the Jets next Sunday.
And that's going to be a lot of trouble. Those Jets are red hot right now.
I believe they look real good winning in Miami.
Take a break this weekend.
They were off this week, yeah.
So they'll be fresh with fresh legs and ready to eat up a Patriot.
Seattle heads to Cincinnati next week for a 1 o'clock Eastern game on NBC, 10 o'clock Pacific time. Bledsoe takes a drop. He's got some time, runs out of it, gets the ball away, and makes the connection for a first down. A rocket throw to the quick rookie Ray Crittenden, number 81. And it's a first down for the Patriots, a 10-yard gain.
Well, that's what Drew Bledsoe does so well. He doesn't have to set his feet, step, and throw like your average quarterback. He can be falling backwards, off balance. Watch this. He'll see the pressure, just swing it. You know, that velocity is generated through the shoulder turn, much like a golf swing.
Now he takes a deep drop, gets time, delivers the ball downfield. He has an open man. Again, it's Crittenden running inside the zone coverage, which was way back. And Crittenden is ahead for a gain of 19 yards, another Patriot first down, as Bledsoe starts moving his team.
You know, that Crittenden can fly now. Everybody's afraid of him. You see the defensive backs obviously have seen the scouting report. You give a guy that can run like Crittenden a lot of respect. You give him a little room, and Bledsoe taking advantage of that.
Seahawks defense pitching a shutout so far. Bledsoe fires over the middle, but comes back a bit at the wrong side as he tries another crossing pattern throw to Greg McMurtry. Now it's back to New York and Jim Lampley. Jim?
Well, Don, there are critics who will say the Bengals are locked in the Stone Age, but this isn't what they had in mind. O'Donnell to Leroy Thompson to Stone. Now watch the quarterback O'Donnell block. Well, in a manner of speaking, as Stone goes into the end zone from 38 yards out, it is 34-7 Steelers in Three Rivers. Don Criqui.
Thank you, Jim. I remember Neil O'Donnell A couple of my kids played against him in high school in football and basketball in New Jersey. He's a great high school basketball player. More recruited for that, I think, than football. Here's a throw downfield. A nice throw by Bledsoe, and the ball is caught at the 25-yard line. Greg McMurtry comes back at the ball. 12-yard throw as Bledsoe starts to show his stuff.
You know, this is a big-time throw. This time he can set, step, and throw, and when he does have that opportunity, I can guarantee you that the ball is going to be right on the money. Good blocking that time. McMurtry, a big receiver with very good hands. 6'2", 207.
Parcells talking about Bledsoe, said his mobility really surprised him. They knew he had pretty good feet, but he has excellent feet. Showing it here, the quick drop standing in. Another great throw. On the run is tight end Ben Coates, and he dives in. Let's look for the signal. There's the touchdown call, and the Patriots have scored with 13:27 to play.
Well, Ben Coates is big. Ben Coates is fast. He's got good hands. And take a look at the determination and a little bit of a feint by Robert Blackman. Robert Blackman didn't really want to hit Ben Coates that time. If he had wanted to, I think he could have put his head in front and put his shoulders into him and taken a shot. But let me tell you something.
You can say that. That used to be your business.
Hey, I'm up here, so I can say the guy fainted. I wouldn't want to hit him either, Don.
Foxborough Stadium sold out. Beasley.
Take a look at number 25, Robert Blackman here. All he had to do was put his body in front. Let me tell you something. A guy that weighs 245 running as fast as Ben Coates runs, I wouldn't want to hit him either, but let me tell you something. Somebody upstairs is saying the same thing I'm saying. Son, you got to give it up.
Here's the
you got to give up the body.
Whoa, they wanted that to come out. He does anyway. And the knockdown is made at the 15-yard line. That was John Vaughn. He wants to attack his old team if he can. And he, against good counsel, took the ball out, and now he starts his team deep in their own end from the 15.
Now watch this. He's going to be told. Bates is saying, no, wait. So he lost the blocker.
Yep.
John Vaughn playing against his old team probably, and he's one of the best kickoff returners in the world. Had he have had some blocking, but he was told to stay.
That was a mistake. We all make them. But let's see now if the Patriots can get a stop on the Seattle offense with Mirer on the sideline. And Gelbaugh in, who's played very well in Meyer's stead. Chris Warren runs the ball and gets it out to the 18-yard line. A ton of time left. 13:08 to play in the game.
Well, that's the guy they have to stop. That's the drive sustainer. Chris Warren and that Seattle Seahawks offensive line have done one heck of a job. Look at that, 140 yards rushing and a touchdown. That's one heck of a job. And you have to pat those offensive linemen on the back, and you have to once again say, Chris Warren, the best back in the National Football League that you might not know very much about. Extremely underrated. But if he keeps it up, everybody will know his name.
Gelbaugh stands in. Here comes the rush. There's the throw. It's might be intercepted, as you know. They're ruling incomplete. It caromed off the receiver, the tight end Paul Green. A Patriot made a play on the ball, but they really did not have it. Farrell Edmonds downfield also.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is nothing but good defense here by the safety. The ball wasn't caught cleanly. He drives in, pops him, and drives him back. Can't ask for any better than that.
A huge down now as once again we have a ball game. 3rd down and 7. 60,000 up and cheering loudly. Here comes the blitz. Great move by Gelbaugh. He waited it out.
No. I think they talked Ray Roberts in the jumping off side there.
Right, let's see.
I believe. We'll find out.
Delay of the game was called prior to the false start. Delay of the game, offense.
Delay of the game.
Well, you know what happens is when the quarterback sees the blitz or sees a change in the front, he has to audible. So Gelbaugh probably not getting a lot of offensive snaps during the course of the week. A little bit slow making the change. And there the play call, the infraction call.
Seahawks working into the wind. They have to throw downfield here. Throwing a catch on the run, short of a first down, is Kelvin Martin. The Michigan rookie, Corwin Brown, was the man who made the stop.
Well, finally, Bill Parcells' team comes up with some defense. They know where the first down marker is, allow that receiver to catch it, and tackle him before he gets to the chain. Opportunity knocks. They got to get a good return, make a ball game out of it with another good showing from Bledsoe. That last drive that he had was all passing, resulting in a touchdown.
On hit downfield, it takes a Seattle roll, and the Seahawks down it at the 43-yard line of New England. But this stadium has come alive as we have a game. Seattle continues to lead. Next weekend, the Ryder Cup. Right now, perhaps a Patriot comeback. Down 17-0, they've rallied. They now trail 17-7, and they start this drive at their 43-yard line. Bledsoe is hit as he throws. It's incomplete. It's interesting, Beasley, there's been virtually no blitzes of Bledsoe by the Seahawk defense.
Well, he's picked it up very well lately, so when they pick him up, they really don't blitz him very much.
And we welcome those of you who've been watching the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Cincinnati Bengals handily. This is Don Criqui with Beasley Reese, Foxborough, Massachusetts. The two top picks in the last draft are matched here, Bledsoe and Mirer. But Mirer, after playing a brilliant game to lead Seattle to a 17-0 lead, is on the sidelines. He suffered a scratched eye when a Patriot, as Bledsoe throws over the middle and makes a connection for a first down to the 41. Meyer's sideline with an eye injury. Pitts got it accidentally. Mike Pitts, but that was a 15-yard gain. So Ric Mirer patrols the sidelines, troubled by blurred vision in his left eye. Stan Gelbaugh has been working at quarterback for the Seahawks, but right now the top pick in the last draft, Drew Bledsoe, is leading the Patriots. He took them to a touchdown their last possession, and here they come again. First down and 10 at the 41-yard line. They're down 17-7, but moving fast. Bledsoe against a rush, comes in a little light, incomplete. They called for an interference call, was not close to one. Good coverage by Patrick Hunter, who made the game-saving play here a year ago when Seattle won at New England.
Let's take a look at the end of the play and see if there was a problem. Well, one of the reasons that is not an infraction is because the ball was so poorly thrown that the ball was not catchable. The ball was on the ground by the time Hunter ran into the receiver. No call.
No call is the call, and a good one, and that brings up second down and 10 for New England. Bledsoe at 6'5", 235, stands in, throws a strike downfield. It's a first down. Looks like they're going to know. They're waving it up. They rule the ball came in on the 1/2. This kid, 81, a rookie we haven't heard a lot about. Parcells was raving about him yesterday, and he's made some plays.
Well, Parcells was saying he's the fastest of the receivers. Extremely fast, good concentration. They're expecting some things out of it.
Now they're blitzing.
Let's see if they got anything out of him this time. Oh, that's mighty close. Whoa. Tell you what, that looked like a catch.
All the way.
Oh, my goodness. That's a catch. Oh, what a horrible call. And a tough hit for the Patriots.
And a tough down now for the Patriots. Third down and 10. Markers go down the line of scrimmage as Bledsoe is sacked for the first time. They sacked Mirer 4 times while he was in. Cortez Kennedy gets him, but there's a marker down. Might be an offside on Seattle.
Yeah, I don't think the Tez will get credit for this one because
no infraction on the play. No infraction on the play.
It's a sack.
There was a penalty marker, but there's no infraction.
So the Tez finally comes through. Big number 96 got two people on him once again, but as Bledsoe is flushed forward, there comes 300 pounds of man, dragging Bledsoe to the ground. So he's got an interception off a tip earlier in the game, and now he's got him a sack. You know, you can't keep a guy like that out of it all day long.
It was really a rookie, though, Beasley. Michael Sinclair, number 70, who forced the sack. He ran him right into Cortez Kennedy. Here's the punt downfield to Kelvin Martin. Former standout from Boston College, turns it upfield. Seeing nowhere to go, puts the head down, gets to the 19-yard line. 10:21 to play. Browns and the Raiders tee it up next on most of these NBC stations. There's Ric Mirer, the rookie quarterback from Notre Dame, who played a tremendous game. This is the play he was injured on.
You know, Mike Pitts is pushing from the center of your screen. He reaches out the right hand and scrapes across his. You see him squinting there. And now they say he's blurred. He's been working his hands around his eyes, trying to get his vision straight. Not in the game.
Now we're told he has a problem with both eyes. As the handoff goes to Chris Warren, and he is stopped quickly on a first down carry at the 18-yard line, knocked down by Todd Collins. The rushing yards today tell a big story. Seattle came in thinking they could run on New England, and they did. 177 yards. Chris Warren's been the main force. And that rushing dominance has led to this advantage in time of possession for the Seahawks.
You add time of possession and you add rushing stats like that together, and you've got a problem. You're supposed to lose the game without some individual, unbelievable big plays.
And up to Warren, goes into the pile, but it doesn't move. On second down and 10, there's a gain of just 2 yards.
You know, suddenly this New England defense has figured out a couple of things, and they've been successful. I'd say the last couple of times out on the field, they've been able to hold. There's Al Groh, the defensive coordinator, calling in those whatever magic he's got in that pocket right now. He's got to pull it out.
Big down now as the Patriots looking for a stop. Gelbaugh, the veteran who played 3 years at Buffalo, without a football a couple of years, was with the Seahawks last season, takes the drop. Here's a blitz. Free ball. It's live. Patriots have it. As a safety blitz did in the Seahawks.
Well, there it comes. Maurice Hurst from the outside. He's a defensive back. They didn't account for him. What a call by the defense, forcing the free ball and the big play that the New England Patriots so desperately needed. He didn't slow down one bit. Hit him running full speed. Maurice Hurst, the veteran, 5'10", 185 pounds, but when you're running that fast, you hit more like about 250.
Right now, with a lot of time left, 8:50 to go, Bledsoe takes a look. He gets time, sidearms the ball. He's picked off. Dwayne Harper gets the pick. And the Patriots, with a golden opportunity, are robbed of any further advance on a brilliant play by cornerback Dwayne Harper, a guy that Bill Parcells wanted to draft, but when they brought him in to work him out, he only weighed 165 pounds, so they didn't draft him.
Well, that's a major mistake by a young quarterback. This one you throw away. This one you hit a cameraman. You definitely don't make this mistake after a great turnover like that. Dwayne Harper, the Seattle Seahawks, weighed 165 pounds coming out of college. Parcells didn't draft him because he thought he was too small, but look at the move there. And Parcells told us that every time he sees him play now, he plays so well that it haunts him, and it haunts him now.
And Harper, who was drafted in '88, and then started since '89, has never missed a game because of injury, despite his lack of size for Seattle.
Parcells said his scouts wanted him to draft Harper. Parcells said, you tell me one guy that weighs 165 pounds playing defensive back in the National Football League, and I'll draft him. Everybody looked at each other. Nobody could come up with a name, so they didn't draft him. And now, for the last few years, Parcells has looked at that guy and said, my goodness, look what I could have had.
And he could have had him late. He was an 11th round pick. Still a lot of time left, though. Over 8 minutes to play. Warren breaks it, and he gets a big first down for the Seahawks out to the 20-yard line, so they can bleed the clock a bit more. It is very interesting that after each Seattle turnover today, and there have been 2, Drew Bledsoe threw an interception on the very next play. Twice he's done that. And his team is still in this game, down 17-7 with Mirer sidelined, the standout quarterback for Seattle, who was picked right after him in the draft.
Well, that last interception was a huge mistake. I mean, when he gets a little age under his belt, he'll know to hit a cheerleader with that ball. You don't even take a chance on first down after a big interception like that.
Gelbaugh hands off. Warren with a slant run, driving hard out to the 25-yard line. And the game clock down to 7:10 to play. The Seahawks looking for their first one of the year, as are the Patriots, continue to lead New England 17-7.
Well, because the Patriots need to score twice at least, time is of the essence already, even though there's almost 7 minutes left. So they need to make another turnover, another big play, or put together 2 more good defensive stops in order to make a game out of this.
Gelbaugh buys time with a rollout, makes a throw. He's picked off, intercepted by New England. And the Patriots have the ball at the 26-yard line. Todd Collins, a young linebacker. But there's a penalty marker down in the Patriot backfield. Could it be a hold?
Well, the only people applauding right now are the New England Patriots.
It's a hold, a personal foul.
Uh-oh.
Offsetting, it's no play.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask foul, number 87 defense.
They first he signaled holding, then he signaled personal foul.
15 yards, first down.
Well, I'm struggling to find an 87.
Yeah, there is no 87 out there.
87 defense. Penalty is declined.
No 87 defense. Now it's going over to New England. So a thoroughly confusing situation is more confused as he now turns the ball to New England after signaling first down Seattle.
All right, let's see if we can figure this one out. First of all, we know that it's a great interception.
The penalty marker was down, though, in the backfield, like it could be a holding call.
Well, the officials should explain that one a little bit better.
First signal was that it was a first down for Seattle, and now the signal is it is indeed an interception for Collins and a first down for the Patriots. So they stay alive with 6:28 to play and down 17-7.
Don, that's a bad job by the officials. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Lower right side. There it is, right there. 87 Paul Green rips off the helmet. There it is.
But they called 87 on the defense, and there was no 87. He meant 87 on the offense.
There you go.
Now here's another penalty. Somebody said the wrong thing, I think.
Well, you know, I've seen the good officiating crews come out and say, I mean, go through a paragraph explaining exactly what happened to the fans. And that's what the officials should have done there. They should have said, we said 87 on one team, it was 87 on the other, and that's the reason we're making the change.
First and 10 for the Patriots. Here is Drew Bledsoe. Goes over the middle, he makes the connection. Ben Coates is down to the 4-yard line. New England drives on a very fine throw by Drew Bledsoe.
Now, I'm sure that somebody has pulled Drew Bledsoe over to the side after the last miscue and said, son, if you don't see it, hit a goal post. This time he's got it wide open. He's able to put the ball where he wants to. An opportunity knocks for New England.
So the Patriots down by 10, 5:57 to play, go to the run. There is the signal. It's a touchdown for the Patriots. Sam Gash, a second-year back out of Penn State, takes it in. The first rushing touchdown this season for New England. And now they're an extra point away to coming to within 17-14. 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter have brought New England back into the game. They will have 14 if they hit this point after.
Sisson is 3 of 3 attempts on field goals.
Rookie from Georgia Tech hitting the point after
on PATs.
And so it's now a 3-point game. 5:54 to play.
Let's take a look at the hero, the offensive line. First of all, stalemating, cleaning up, really blocking well. Look at Pat Harlow's block on the inside. And Sam Gash using that 5'11", 235-pound frame. Uh-oh, looked like his knee was down. Uh-oh. Look at that. He's down right now. Well, they got away with what?
Final scores in Beasley from Pittsburgh, where the Steelers buried the Bengals 34-7.
Well, I tell you what, my officials a little bit off today. They mean well. They mean well. You know, it's easy. You know, I shouldn't say that because I've got the benefit of replays, and I'm sitting up here 6 miles up in the air.
And they used to have the benefit of replay, which a lot of people have argued to keep.
Okay, I'm sorry, official.
6 turnovers today, but that touchdown was the first score by either team after a turnover. And now, with the Patriots kicking off the wind at their back, the deep men are back. Kelvin Martin is back alone. High kick. Kelvin Martin will down the ball. They got John Vaughn out of there. They didn't want to risk him running stuff back that he shouldn't have.
I said, John, you're a little too eager. Sit down.
NFL football lineup. The Browns, the Raiders coming up from the LA Coliseum next on most of these NBC stations. Some of you will see the Oilers go against the Chargers at San Diego. Check your local listing. Then next weekend is the 30th Ryder Cup competition here on NBC Sports.
Look at the crowd. Jeez.
Stadium's packed. Foxborough Stadium. All the seats are gone. Sold them all out today. And they've got something to cheer about now as Seattle's trying to stay alive. Warren running hard. He's out close to the 24-yard line. First down carry, good for 4. Clock down to 5:39 to play. And we must consider this also. The Patriots in the fourth quarter working with a very strong wind at their back. They need a long field goal. They'll have a helping hand. Patriots who have won only 9 of 50 games in the 90s. Seahawks also struggling, looking for their first win of the year. Go to Warren. He breaks it. Warren's ahead to the 30-yard line, and he appears to have a first down.
Well, that was a touchdown-saving tackle because Big Warren runs about a 4.3, 4.4 40, and if he'd have hit that sideline, it would be good night. Warren is the X factor, and Darrell Wren, his O beats his X in the X's and O's of football, because had he not have made that play, it would be one of, I believe he would have just scored.
Now apparently where the mark is, it looks like it might be just short of a first down. They're bringing the yard markers out. The game clock stopped with an official timeout. 4:41 left to play. Seattle has been greatly improved on third down conversions this week. 5 of 11 so far. They've been under 11% through the first 2 games.
Right, I was about to say they came in this game something like what, 2 of 19.
2 of 19 was it? Yeah,
2 of 19.
Chris Warren having a big time day. 32 carries, 167 yards against the Parcells defense. And Warren's probably the guy now as they stack the front of the New England defense. 17-14 Seattle. Third down, less than a yard. He didn't get there. Patriots shut the run down. Chris Warren cut down. And will bring up 4th and less than a yard.
was a big charge by the right side of this defense. Look at Slade going on the inside. Good force coming up. Everybody coming to the football. That's a big, big play. Al Groh, the defensive coordinator and the linebacker coach, got good work out of all of his responsibilities. His linebackers charged well. Looks like this is close enough to measure.
4:01 to play. Well, the nose of the ball was short of the 30, and that's what they had to get. So it's now officially short. Gives the guys time to catch a deep breath. Continuing story in this game. This, of course, matching the top 2 picks in the last draft. Quarterback Drew Bledsoe of New England. Quarterback Ric Mirer of Seattle. Mirer played brilliantly, leading his team to a 17-0 lead. Then was inadvertently scratched in the eye, or both eyes, on a hand swipe as Mike Pitts of the Patriots tried to tackle him on a pass rush. Meyer's been out of the lineup now, on the sideline. Gelbaugh's been in. And right now, the punter is out, as the Patriots send back their deep man, Troy Brown. Tootin is punting into the wind. It's a gusting wind coming right at him out of the north. Short punt coming up the field and on the run. Ball is touched, and it's down back at the 25-yard line. So Troy Brown, a week ago, fumbled the opening kickoff of the game against the Lions, and the Lions returned it for a touchdown 11 seconds into the game. New England was down 7-0. He lives dangerously again.
Troy Brown is having a bad couple of weeks. Now, this is the right idea. I'm telling you. Well, wait a minute.
Man,
see, we got another problem.
Fault.
The kid should be given room to catch the ball.
I'll tell you one thing. Some people might have voted against replay, but they voted back today.
Let's see if Parcells buys this one. He said, Coach, you didn't give me time to catch it. Parcells is saying, hey, get. Oh, wait a minute. He's pleading his case. That's a bad call.
Tough call, and it puts the Patriots back at their 25. They're cheering that call in Seattle, though. Here is an out pattern. Nicely thrown. Bledsoe for a first down to the quick Ray Crittenden. Crittenden, rookie from Virginia Tech.
Now, see, this is a dangerous pass if you're not Drew Bledsoe. This is the longest pass geometrically to throw. Takes a long time to get there, but not if you're Drew Bledsoe. Man, he's got the power to sling it over to the sideline. Good catch, good effort.
And he's got the height to see downfield. Drew Bledsoe at 6'5", 235 pounds. Again, he gets time. Here comes the rush. Downfield throw. Patrick Hunter was covering on the play. No marker. They ruled he got there with the ball. Patriot fans disagree, but they don't make calls.
Well, Darrell Wren with good technique there. Look at him. He's squatting. He knows exactly what the play is. That's a good call. He didn't take his hand and yank him away or change his forward motion or push him or pull him. That's a good call.
And it was
good
Hunter,
no call,
who a year ago made the interception with 35 seconds left in the game in the Seattle end zone to stop a New England threat when the Seahawks won here 10-6 exactly a year ago. Bledsoe fires. Tip ball. Incomplete. Greg McMurtry was his intended receiver, a young middle linebacker from Central Florida. Bob Spitulski was the man who broke it up.
Well, balls are bouncing everywhere around. Somebody's going to make a real big play here in a minute. That's a good job by Spitulski. Just good effort. That's what you call dropping in the perfect spot in his zone. And, of course, once the ball has been tipped, the wide receivers are fair game. You can bounce them around, hit them, do whatever you want to do to them after the ball is tipped.
Third down. Patriots and Bledsoe need 10. Here comes the rush. He eludes it. There's the throw. Overshoots the mark. And let's see what they elect to do now. 2:58 to play. They got to punt it. Time for a stop and to get the ball back. Wind could be a factor as this game comes down to its closing seconds. Mike Saxon, the New England punter, working with the wind at his back. He can boom it. Kelvin Martin, who is one of the best. He returned kicks for the Cowboys Super Bowl championship team last year.
Look for an angle kick.
He's got a lot of diamonds on his finger, too, Beasley, to prove it. That Dallas ring is... Jerry Jones spent the money there in addition to on Emmitt Smith.
That ring was gorgeous. I was so jealous, and I bet all of his teammates are jealous. Very few of those guys have had an opportunity to get a ring like that.
Tonight, beginning at 7, 6 Central Time, don't miss Eyewitness Video with new host John Forsythe. Then the newest hit on NBC, Sequest, starring Roy Scheider, followed by the Sunday night movie Quigley Down Under. That stars Tom Selleck. It's all tonight, starting at 7, 6 Central Time on NBC. Sequest opening to rave reviews, and a huge segment of audience tuned in for that. Second edition tonight, one of the most expensive shows on television, and from the early returns, one of the best. Tonight on NBC. Now, Gelbaugh in at quarterback, sets his team the 11-yard line. Chris Warren gets the call, but they were reading Warren all the way. His free safety, Harlan Barnett, former Cleveland Brown, came in and filled everybody playing the run.
New England.
With 2:43 to go in the game, Bill Parcells tells his team to take one of its allotted 3 timeouts. It's a doubleheader day on NBC Sports. For most of you, will be going to the Coliseum in Los Angeles to watch the matchup of 2 unbeatens, the Browns and the Raiders. Cleveland with a front 7 that Ram coach Chuck Knox calls awesome against a Raider team that looks to be back in playoff form, as they're off to a 2-0 start also. Another top matchup that some of you will see matches the Oilers and the Chargers at San Diego. That's all coming up next here on NBC. Right now we're at Foxborough, Mass. Temperature in the 70s. Wind factor clear and sunny. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese and the Seattle Seahawks, after leading 17-0, then losing their quarterback to an eye injury. Ric Mirer, there he is, sidelined with a scratched left eye. They've now seen the Patriots rally back to challenge and down by just 3 points.
Well, you can only wonder what type of advice Drew Bledsoe is getting from Ray Perkins right now. Probably talking over the couple of play options that they may run. And there's Ray at the other end of that phone. And you can tell by Ray's body posture, his language, that he's trying to give his young quarterback a calming effect, talking over what might happen, trying to think through the situation in advance.
Second and 8, nothing there. Chris Warren runs the ball. Adrian White makes the knockdown at the 23-yard line. So a huge 3rd down arises, and Gelbaugh and the Seahawks have to throw into the wind.
Well, Adrian White is just the kind of guy that you want around in this situation. He's not the kind of guy you're going to find walk around in a flower shop. He'll hit anything. Tough guy. Like you said, Don, a boxer, a fighter, comes up, makes a good play.
A huge game for both franchises, both off to 0-2 starts, despite playing well and really good enough to win. Had not a break or two gone against them. But the winner of this game has some tailwind, and the loser, it's off to an 0-3 start, and maybe that psychological scenario of here we go again.
You know, I bet that when these two franchises looked through their schedule and saw one another in week 3, they probably said, now here's a game that we have to win. Here's a game we certainly have a chance to win, because both teams played against very, very tough units in weeks 1 and 2. So, you know, in pro football, to have a great season, you have to win the games you're supposed to win and then sneak up on a few more people, and you've got a good season.
A week ago, New England rallied from behind, scored a touchdown on the Bledsoe pass with 12 seconds left to force overtime before Detroit won 19-16 in OT. They go to the run on 3rd down. Warren breaks it, but not for much. Not wanting to risk a turnover. The pitch back goes to Chris Warren. He's taken down at the 15-yard line. Chris Slade makes another stop for the Patriots. So now Parcells will see his Patriots get the ball back. 2 minutes and 28 seconds to play. And another timeout called by New England. That was their final timeout. They will get another one, an official one, when the game winds down to 2 minutes. This is all well thought out beforehand. You'd wonder why they take their last timeout now, but they're getting a timeout now to stop the clock. That keeps 28 seconds more on it. And then when they get the ball and the clock is down to 2 minutes to go, they'll get a timeout on an official call. The official 2-minute warning.
Well, the punt return is being set up like it will be just that, a return and not a block. They've got two receivers waiting out wide, two defenders waiting out wide to run down the receivers. You can see the two guys standing together on either side of the field. They will bump and beat and brutally harass the receivers as they come down and try to slow their progress, trying to get a return for number 80, Mr. Brown, a man who's had some trouble over the last couple of weeks, but he's got a lot of talent. That's why they keep putting him back there. Big play opportunity. And he can atone for last week's fumble on the kickoff. And a few moments ago, we saw him, although harassed and not given the proper room to make the catch on the punt return, have it bounce off his chest and risk the game.
Some finals coming in now, Beasley. We have the Giants beating the Rams 20-10. Rookie Reggie Brooks from Notre Dame, a teammate of Myers, just ran 85 yards for a touchdown for Washington to give them a 31-24 lead over the Eagles at Philadelphia. Here's the punt. Good snap. Ball is boomed into the wind. Well hit. Backpedaling is Brown. Almost lost it. And they get him back at the 36-yard line. 48-yard punt and no return. A job brilliantly done by Rick Tootin.
Troy Brown is a dangerous man.
Oh, he's. Just stand with him.
Let me tell you something.
Whoop.
If I'm a coach, I have a heart attack with this kid. He obviously can run it very well, or they wouldn't put him back there. But my goodness, he's got to secure the ball a little better.
Well, he's got Coach Parcells walking the sidelines, as this game does. Coach got back into it after 2 years at NBC. Loving being back.
That was a great opportunity for the Patriots, but Tootin comes up with a monster punt and no return.
Bledsoe on a drop. Here comes the rush. And Bledsoe is caught and dropped on a huge defensive play for Seattle. Cortez Kennedy, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year last season. Busts through a double-team block, gets the quarterback.
Well, let's take a look at the Tez. He's on the right side of your field. Right side of your screen coming up. He's flushed once again because remember Cortez with the body slam like a sumo wrestler, but Cortez is always double teamed, so normally he's going to get the flush.
Oh, what a catch! First down throw. Ray Crittenden.
That was sick. That was unbelievable. What a gutsy throw. Look how he steps into it. Look at the spiral. And look at this. Acrobatic. Nothing but hands in a crucial moment. Crittenden, what a play. It's a wonder that this pass by Drew Bledsoe didn't break the sound barrier. I mean, it was zipped. It had to find a little pocket in the zone. Look at the defenders breaking. And then that is the catch of the season. I don't care what you have seen Ray Crittenden reaching out, getting vertical, nothing but hands, great throw, great catch.
It was all of that, a tremendous play, and now Bledsoe leads his team 1st and 10. He steps into the pocket, out pattern. He comes in high to tight end Ben Coates. 1:51 to play as the clock is stopped on the incomplete throw. Bledsoe putting up a lot of balls through 40 last week. He's approaching that now. That was his 38th pass of the day. 39th of the day, 17 of 39 for 217 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. On 2nd and 10 with the wind at his back. Over the middle throw to tight end Ben Coates. He is wrestled down. Raphael Robinson, number 37, defensive back, got on board and rode down big Ben Coates. Wasn't easy. Game clock running, 1:33 to play. Patriots a field goal away from tying this game. This might not be over after 60 minutes, but as you know, they are out of timeouts. Here's a throw and a catch and a first down for New England to Ben Coates. And the Patriots with a rhythmic passing game drive on.
In the hurry-up offense, and I tell you something, Ben Coates has put on a show here today. He has come up with some big plays. Crittenden with the big play. Both coaches talked about finding playmakers. Somebody standing up and making a play today.
The clock down to 1 minute. Here's a downfield throw. Almost intercepted, then almost caught, and finally the ball falls on the grass. An incomplete throw. Coach with 4 catches for 48.
You know,
this is something else.
Everybody on this field will give you a heart attack. That's a horrible throw. Bad play by the safety. And then look at this. Oh. Boy, I tell you, this is one of those games where if you're a strong believer and supporter of either team, you've been holding your breath through several moments of this contest.
It looked like the route was on when the Seahawks built a 17-0 lead. Now their lead down to 17-14. 56 seconds to go. Throw and a catch and good defense by the rookie from UCLA, Carlton Gray, who makes a head-on strike. Clock still running. Patriots have no timeouts left.
And we remind you that there's a stiff breeze behind the Patriots. So Scott Sisson isn't very far away from a shot, a desperate shot to tie this game.
He's a rookie. Here's a big rush by Sinclair. A throw downfield, incomplete at the 20. That was on 3rd down, and now 4th down arises, and the ball game hangs in the balance. They're out of field goal range here.
Well, as they say in sports, it has come to this.
Well, they're sending a lot of new people in this, Coach Parcells.
What is this? This is it. This is Scott Sisson.
He's going to go for it.
For the big one.
Okay, well, it's going to be a big one.
Well, there's a lot of wind.
50 plus.
There's a lot of wind behind this kid.
It'll be 54 yards. Uh-oh, that's all. Wind's behind him. 30 seconds to play on 4th down. They're not going for the 1st down. Now the Seahawks want to discuss this whole thing. They saw a trick play a little bit earlier that resulted in a Patriot 1st down earlier in the game on a 4th down.
Well, you know what's interesting about this call? This is a call that takes a lot of pressure off of the kicker. He knows that if he misses a 54-yarder, they're not going to write it in the paper that, you know, Sisson lets him down.
He also knows they lose. No, he wouldn't be letting him down.
No, that's an unbelievable try. So he's free to just relax, let the foot swing through the ball, and let it go. You're taking a shot. Why not?
If he hits it, the game will be tied, and in all probability will go to overtime. It's 17-14. Seattle's in the lead. Now the Matt Barr field goal has brought Philadelphia back to within 4 of the Redskins. That game is a 31-27 game. Washington in the lead. Don Criqui with Beasley Reese at sold-out Foxborough Stadium in New England, where the Patriots send their rookie Scott Sisson, first-year player out of Georgia Tech.
And remember the holders, a backup quarterback. Anything could happen here.
Scott Seacules is the holder. The kick is on the way. It's a high spinner. It might have. It hits the crossbar and bounces back. One dramatic play after another in this game, and that might be the most dramatic. It was on target. It was on line. It was heading through. Had it had another foot on it, but it hits the crossbar and Karem's back. No good.
Let's take a look at it. He steps into it perfectly. Sends it up high.
A thing of beauty.
Right in between them. But, oh, just another 1/3 of a pound of pressure. You see how he kept his head down? Swung through it smoothly.
Yeah, he did all the things you expected he would, and he almost got it. But now, with no timeouts remaining for New England, the Patriots powerless to stop the clock. And Seattle, with Gelbaugh downing the ball, will run out the clock and win its first game of the season, while the Patriots under Parcells will fall to 0-3. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Tommy Roy. The coordinating producer of NFL football, John Faratzis. Today's game was produced by John McGinnis, directed by John McDonough, and we thank them all. We're going to look at the Hager wrinkle-free Cotton's super play of the game.
Opportunity knocks for Scott Sisson. The chance to be a hero of sorts. To send it to overtime, he strokes it perfectly.
Oh, man.
It's on line, but just a hair short. The Hager replay and play of the game.
So the Seattle Seahawks prevail 17-14. Coach Flores going off the field. A quickened heartbeat after his team led 17-0. Coming up next.